Hey, if you're new to my channel, then consider liking and subscribing. It would really mean a lot to me, and honestly, it'd make my day. If you already did, thank you so much. Oh, and by the way, if you like listening to fan fiction, check out my other channel. The link's in the description.
The Comet Wish by Moriana 19. What would you do if one night you made a wish on a comet, and the next morning woke up on the Going Merry? Join Rose, an otaku who's about to have the adventure of a lifetime, as she lives through the arcs of One Piece with the Straw Hats. Adios.
A few days after the kid incident, things have been sailing smoothly for the Straw Hats. One morning after training, Rose went into the empty music room to practice the guitar. "We'll be at Sabaody any day now. I really don't want it to be today. Good thing the room is soundproof, so I can cheer myself up from the thought." She grabs her guitar and sits down while playing Caught in the Storm by Smash. "You can push me away, I can take it, I can make you a promise. And break it, we know the way it goes by now, running off just to see. If I chase you, I pretend I know how to replace you. Still we get tangled up somehow, hear it thunder, and I wonder. How long can I hang on?" She strums the guitar faster, then jumps from the excitement and plays while standing with a smile. "I'm caught in the storm, I'm caught in the rain, I'm caught in the rush that hides this pain. I'm ready to drown, but it's coming down, but I feel so alive. Just let me go, just walk away, if you love someone you never let them stay. I'm caught in the storm, as the bars on the Bowery are closing. You arrive at the door standing frozen, you say you thought you'd find me here. Tell me how I begin to forget you, when you keep coming back and I let you. Love me until you disappear, I'm caught in the storm. I'm caught in the rain, I'm caught in the rush that hides this pain. I'm ready to drown, but it's coming down, but I feel so alive. Just let me go, just walk away, if you love someone. You never let them stay, caught in the storm, let me wash away. You can find me after the flood, let me wash away. Caught in the storm, caught in the rain, caught in the rush that hides this pain. If you love someone, you find a way to stay, caught in the storm." She sets the guitar down with a smile, then suddenly hears clapping. Wah! She jumps back in shock and crashes into the drum set, then sits up to see Nami laughing at the reaction. "I swear, either you or Robin are gonna give me a heart attack." Nami laughs at that, then extends a hand to help her up. "Sorry about that. You look like you were having so much fun that I didn't want to interrupt you." She takes the hand with a smile and gets up. "Thanks, so, what's up?" "We made it to the red line, everyone's gathered at the deck right now." "What? We reached it today. I was hoping for at least one more day." Rose's heart dropped to her stomach, but she didn't show it. "I see, come on, let's go see it." They started walking out of the room. "By the way, Rose, what exactly was that song? It was really good. Did you write that?" Rose chuckled. "I wish. I can't write songs to save my life. That was just something I learned to play back at my hometown. You know, you never told us where you came from. I'm surprised your younger self didn't say anything." "Hee hee, I was always like that. If it'll make you feel better, I can tell you the name of the place. She deserves to know something. As long as I don't say where it is, then no harm done." Nami looks at her in shock. Rose is opening up. She recovers from the shock and gives her an encouraging smile. "That would be great, go ahead." Rose chuckles at her enthusiasm. "I'm from a city called New York." She tilts her head in thought. "New York, oh, wait. I heard that name before." Rose looks at her in shock. "What the hell, why you did?" Nami nods. "Yay, Ors mentioned it just after he got your shadow. Looking back, his reaction was kind of funny. He was exactly like you. Let me guess, he went something like..." Rose looked down at herself in excitement to try and imitate Ors. "Whoa, I'm a giant. That's so cool. Where am I though? This isn't New York. What's New York again?" Rose tilted her head in confusion to show the full effect, causing Nami to laugh as they made it to the deck. "Ha ha ha. That was exactly like him. So where exactly is New?" She looks to see Rose flew away to the other side of the deck to look at the red line before Nami could finish her question. She sighs in exasperation. "Geez, just when I thought she was opening up. At least she's starting to trust us." She smiles as she walks up to the front of the ship and looks at the giant rock called the Red Line that borders the New World. "I can't believe we made it." After all this time we're halfway through, Usopp says as he starts tearing with joy. Once we return here after another turn around the world I will be the king of the pirates. Luffy says as he and the others looks at the cliff with determination. Rose stays in the back of the group and looks at the cliff sadly with a heavy heart. Today's our last day together. She looks at the excited crew with a soft look. I better make it count. Rose digs into her bag to grab a camera then puts a smile on her face. Hey guys, how about a picture to commemorate this? The others turn to her then nod. Great idea Rose. Robin says as she sprouted arms from the deck in front of Rose and takes the camera from her. Come on guys. Luffy says as the crew gathers in front of the camera. Frankie, Nami, Brook, Zoro, Robin and Sanji gathered in the back while Usopp, Luffy, Rose and Chopper gathered in the front. As Robin used her hands to get the camera ready Luffy wrapped his arms around Rose, Usopp and Chopper's shoulders. Rose lightly blushes at being so close to Luffy but keeps a large grin on her face along with the trio. Frankie placed his arms together in his signature pose while Robin had her arms crossed with a grin on her face as the others smiled and gathered close. When the camera flashed Frankie slipped causing the others in the back to fall forward and dogpile on Rose and the guys in the front. Robin's arms disappeared and dropped the camera while most of the crew members were laughing at the slip and get up. Ah, come on guys. Nami says as she shakes her head and takes the camera from the ground. I hope the picture didn't get ruined. Rose shakes her head with a smile. I think it'll be fine either way. I'll get the picture developed when we reach the island. How are we going to get past this rock anyway? Sanji asks as he looks at the cliff. That's a good question. Nami looks at the log pose that's pointing down. It's pointing downwards. Does this mean that we have to go underwater? We can check it out with the new submarine I built. Who wants to try it? Frankie asks. I'll go, Luffy says with Brook and Robin volunteering. Alright, come with me, Frankie says as he shows them the way. Rose takes the camera from Nami then watches as she, Sanji, Usopp and Chopper head inside. Had a bad vision Rose? Zoro asks snapping her out of her daze. I forget that Zoro's sharp. I'm fine. It looks like we're gonna meet a mermaid today so you'd better be prepared for Sanji. Zoro keeps his stare at her as she starts walking away. Hold it. She turns to him in confusion that immediately turns to shock as he unsheathes his swords. You've been training a lot lately. Hope you've been training with those blades. Oh crap, he wants to spar. You know what? Why not? She nods as she grabs her staff from her back strap then unsheathes the twin blades with a smirk. Just so we're clear, I'm not the same kid you found in the infirmary anymore. He nods with a smirk. You're definitely gutsier. The two charge to face off on the deck of the ship with the sounds of blades clashing filling the air. She dodges his blades with ease thanks to her wind while countering. Every move Rose makes was blocked and countered by Zoro with neither side giving an inch. Zoro charges forward with his 3 blades as she blocks then pushes him back with her wind. He pulled his swords back, 360 caliber Phoenix. Wind blade cross. Both forces collided and cancelled each other out. Both of them start panting with Zoro nodding with smirk. Not bad. They both charge again but stop when the submarine surfaces and the others start heading to the deck. Looks like we're about to have company. Rose says as she sheathes the blades then turns to Zoro with a grin. Good sparring match Zoro. I had fun. Zoro nods the side of the boat where the others are. Did you guys find anything? Nami asks as Robin, Brook and Luffy get out of the submarine. Robin shakes her head. No, we couldn't find the entrance to Fishman Island. If we went any deeper the submarine wouldn't have been able to withstand the pressure. Frankie scratches his head in thought. How the heck are we supposed to get there then? I think our friend in the sea rabbit can help. Rose says as she points to the angry sea rabbit that's starting to surface. Wah! The sea monster followed us, Luffy yelled as he got in a stance. Don't think you can beat me on land. Gum gum pistol. He punched the sea rabbit in the gut and sends him flying. You know, he didn't seem that big, Usopp says casually. That's because ours was larger. Chopper says when the others watch the sea rabbit start landing back in the ocean but not before throwing up a green-haired mermaid and a starfish. Mermaid! Sanji yells in excitement as he runs to catch her but got tackled to the ground. Zoro's sweat drops at Sanji's excitement. Moron. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? The mermaid asks as she gets off of him. Sanji nods with hearts in his eyes. I'm alright, mermaid-san. The others but Rose and Zoro look at her in shock. She's beautiful. My heart is beating with excitement, or it would be if I had a heart. Yoho ho, Brooke says. I'm impressed the rabbit's stomach acids didn't kill her. Robin says, causing the others to look at her nervously while the mermaid turns to them in shock. Wah! That's a lot of humans. She immediately calms down then smiles at them. Thanks for stopping me from getting digested. I'm always getting eaten. My name is Kami. I know of a way to thank you. Do you want some takoyaki? Takoyaki? That's my favorite food, Luffy says in excitement. Great, that'll be 500 belly. This isn't a store, the starfish says as he smacks her. Right, sorry. While the others were introducing themselves to Kami, Rose walked over to the forgotten starfish. Hi there, I'm Rose. You're Popig, right? He looks at her in shock. Why yay, how'd you know? I'm good with names. He's my pet and also my master, Kami says as the crew turns to him. He's your pet and your master? How does that work? Chopper asks when Popig jumps onto the railing. She keeps me as her pet and feeds me clams while I teach her about designing, he says, but everyone but Rose turned their attention. I'm impressed. How are you able to talk? Rose asks, causing him to turn to her. When I was a kid I thought I was a human, so I learned how to talk like one. By the time I realized that I was a starfish I was already speaking like a human. Is that how it really works? Luffy asks as he turns to them. Popig nods. This world is a strange and frightening place. Thanks for coming to my aid. Nami nods with a smile. This is great. We were having some issue on how to get to Fishman Island. Hold on, Nami. The takoyaki comes first, Luffy says when Kami grabs her ringing den mushi. Don't worry, I'll give you the takoyaki, but I need to find Haken first. She picks up the den mushi. Hello Haken, it's Kami. Sorry, I got kind of lost. Where are you right now? The den mushi responds. Oh, Kami, is it? Do you know who you're speaking with? This isn't Hachi, you know. She looks at the den mushi in shock. This isn't Hacchin? This is Makuro from the famous Makuro crew. What are you doing with Hachin's den mushi? We've beaten your precious Haken. There's no way he'd be beaten by you losers. That may be true, but we have the flying fish riders on our side this time. We'll let you talk to him. The den mushi changes voices. Kami, I'm glad you're okay. Listen, don't come find me. I'll escape soon. The den mushi changes voices again back to Makuro. I doubt that. We're going to sell him off real soon. After all, octopus fishmen are rare. If you want to save him, go to Grove 44. Nami tilts her head in thought. Hachin's voice was familiar, it couldn't be. I'm sorry Luffy. Can I give you the takoyaki some other time? I need to go help Haken. Kami says as she starts leaving, but Nami stops her. Hold on Kami. We can help you against the kidnappers if you want. Really? Kami asks. She nods then points to the guys. Well, actually these guys will help. What about you? Usopp and Frankie say. Nami ignores them. In return you'll help us get to Fishman Island, deal? Kami nods. Not a problem. Thank you so much. Rose watches the scene with a smile. Looks like things are running smoothly. I know things will be awkward with Hachi, but it'll be fine. Seeing Duval will definitely be. Rose freezes then turns to fly up to the observatory. Chopper looks at her in confusion. Where are you going, Rose? To laugh my ass off now, so I can take this fight seriously. I should make sure I packed everything I need from the observatory as well. She goes in through the window while the others sweat drop as they hear faint laughter. What did she see? Brooke asks. I don't think I want to know. Zoro says as the others make their way to the grove. Rose just finished taking what she needed from the observatory with a sad smile. I guess that's it. I shouldn't take too much. I got my journal, the page about the Annette crystal and the aged sake. Who knows? Maybe the sake could come in handy. Rose looks around the room one more time then flips the switch to block out the windows and sadly looks at the fake stars on the ceiling. I know it'll just be 2 years, but it's still sad. I should go before the others get worried. Rose unblocks the windows then flies out to find Kami and Popig sitting on the railing sadly while the others are getting the cannons ready. Will Haken really be okay? Kami says out loud. Don't worry, Kami. We'll get him back, Rose says as she sits next to her. She turns to her in shock, then slowly nods. Can you see it with your visions? She nervously nods. You can say that. I can guarantee Hachi won't be sold. Mind if I ask what Fishman Island's like? She starts smiling as she nods. It's really beautiful. Fishmen and mermaid alike live in peace under King Neptune. And there are fishmen of all kinds living together. She softly smiles at her. That sounds nice. Guys, we're getting close, Robin says as the crew looks to the front and sees Duval's base approaching. Kami turns to the crew. Guys, be careful. Mikuro caught me about 30 times. You've been captured too much, Usopp says as the ship sails through the opening of the base. It's quiet, Zoro says as he has his hands on the scabbards. The crew look around the base to find a cage dangling in the middle of the base with a tied-up pink octopus fish man with gray spiky hair inside. Hakken, is that you? Kami calls out after the octopus fish man squirts ink on his face, then turns to them. Kami, this is a trap. Turn back now, Hachi says. Please don't recognize me, Straw Hats. What happened? Why are you all black? Kami and Popig yell. Don't worry about me, I'm fine, Hachi says. I definitely heard that voice before. What do you think, Nami? Zoro says as he eyes Hachi suspiciously. Nami strokes her chin in thought. It's definitely possible. Sanji turns to him. Let's try this. Oi, how's Arlong doing? He's in prison. I'm the only one that escaped. I managed to open up a takoyaki shop like I've always dreamed of, Hachi responded, then widened his eyes in realization. Oh crap. It really is you, Nami yelled. What's going on? Robin asks. Right, Nami's hometown was under control of the Arlong pirates and the octopus was one of their crewmates, Usopp says. An old enemy, huh? Frankie says. Yay, then I took Luffy and the others and defeated the entire crew, Usopp says, causing Chopper to look at him in excitement as he continued. It looks like one of them escaped the Marines though. Luffy glares at him. So you're Hacchin? There's no way we're gonna help you now, Oyaki that good? Sanji looks at him in disbelief. Don't get caught between your appetite and your reasoning. Are you guys Hachin's friends? Kami asks innocently. Zoro turns to her and glares. We aren't his friends. Eat. Kami shrieks, then turns to Nami. But, Nami-chin? Nami shakes her head. Sorry Kami, I didn't think it was him. No, then if you're not going to save him then I will, she turns to the ocean angrily. Kami, wait. Rose tries to stop her and Popig, but they dove into the water and got caught by the fishmen. Asterisk sigh, here we go. Rose got her staff ready as the others started getting ready to fight. Why those, I'm going to go save Kami at least, Sanji says as he steps to the side of the boat. Nami puts a hand on his shoulder to stop him. Hold on Sanji, I've decided we can save him too. Huh? The others turn to her in shock as she grins. Yay, Hachi's alright. He's actually pretty harmless. Besides, we promised Kami we'd help him. If you say so Nami, let's go save the octopus as well, Luffy says with takoyaki in his eyes, then jumps off the boat and stretches to grab Kami. Luffy-chin, Kami says as they land on the base with the fishmen glaring at them. Straw Hat. I'm in your debt. You guys have to be careful, the flying fish riders have the place surrounded, Hachi yells as the crew gets ready. From the sea or the sky we'll kick their asses, Luffy says as he cracks his knuckles. The flying fish riders fly out of the ocean and surround the Sunny. Luffy stretches and climbs onto one of the flying fish while Sanji deflects the flying bombs. Guys! Luffy's on one of the fish, Chopper yells. I'll make sure he doesn't drown, Rose says as she flies up while the flying fish start diving. Before Luffy's fish makes it to the water, Rose grabs Luffy's arm and pulls him off the fish and lands the two of them onto the Sunny. If you wanted to fly so badly all you had to do was ask. I still want to try though, Luffy says. She sighs, then watches the fish fly out of the ocean again. I guess I can see your point. Flying on a fish does sound awesome. Don't encourage him, Frankie says when the flying fish surround the Sunny. While the crew is fighting off the fish riders, Mikuro and his two fishmen lackeys start emerging from the water. Now's our chance. Let's get Kami, Mikuro says as they swim to them but freeze when they hear slashing and turn to see Zoro cut the bars off of Hachi's cage and sliced his bindings off. Thanks for freeing me, Rorinoa. You really are a great guy, Hachi says as he dives off into the water. I was just following orders. Zoro says as he jumps off the cage and lands on the island while Hachi beats up the fishmen. Hakan, Kami jumped to hug Hachi along with Popeg while Zoro protected them against the incoming flying fish rider. You guys leave this to us, Zoro says. Hachi starts crying tears of joy. Thank you so much, Rorinoa. I'm sorry for attacking you back then. I didn't feel it, Zoro says as he protects them from the flying fish while the crew fights off the fish riders on the Sunny. Usopp managed to shoot down one of the fish riders with a cannon. Alright, I got him. Way to go, Usopp, Chopper says, but more of them started coming. I haven't been in a sky battle since Khalifa. This is exciting. Rose started flying up and launching twister punches left and right and taking down half of the riders while the attacks kept going through her. Whoa, look at her go, Nami says as they watch her fight them off. Hey Rose, help me ride one, Luffy says. Keep focused, Usopp says as he whacks him. Brook walks up to the side of the boat and starts unsheathing his sword. As a Straw Hat pirate, it would be a disgrace if I couldn't assist Rose-san in reducing their numbers. He jumps up in the air almost as high as Rose and starts playing his violin for the incoming fish riders. Nemariu de Flan. Rose turns around and sees Brook putting the fish riders around them to sleep, then running on the water to slash through them all the way to the base. Way to go, Brook, Rose says as she gets back to her fight and punches out a fish rider. Good job, Brook. Luffy stretches his arms as he grabs onto one of the flying fish with a sleeping rider and tossed him overboard. Rose caught the guy with her wind and landed him on the base, then watched as Luffy's fish sent him flying inside the hideout. Looks like it's only a matter of time now. Rose flew back to the ship and helped the guys fight off the fish riders. Run! Luffy yells as he runs out of the base with harpoons being shot at him. Zoro, Hachi, and Brook look at him in shock as Luffy runs towards them. There's a masked guy and a cow coming. Zoro quirks an eyebrow at him. A cow? They turn in shock to see a large man in an iron mask riding a giant cow with a harpoon gun and breaking through his base. The crew on the ship look at the man in shock. What the hell? Usopp says as the man yells at his men. Men, what are you doing? You're not mosquitoes, you're the flying fish riders, the masked man yells. Luffy looks at him in shock. He broke his own base? I don't need it as long as I can kill you Straw Hats. One of the fish riders bows to him in apology. We're sorry, Duval. We'll take care of them, right? Shut up, Duval yells as he turns to the ship. I didn't enter this trade because I wanted to, but today is a glorious day. The man who I've wanted to kill for so long has finally arrived. He turns to the Sunny. The man who ruined my life is finally here. Today I will definitely kill you, Black-Leg Sanji. Sanji looks at him in shock as the others turn to him. Who is this guy? Why does he want to kill you? Frankie asks. I have no idea, Sanji says, and he scratches his head in thought. Think back, you must have done something, Chopper says. Could it be someone from the restaurant? Nami asks. That has to be it, Usopp says. Robin turns to Rose and whispers, what's this about? If I say it now I'll just lose my composure. It'll be clear soon. Rose whispers when she sees Duval aiming his launcher at them. Guys, duck. The others turn to where Rose is looking at as Rose ran to the railing and flew off the ship. When Duval fired his harpoons, she turned both of her arms into twisters and extended them to block the harpoons from attacking the ship. Duval starts growling angrily. That little. He aimed his harpoons at Rose, but before he fired, Luffy kicked off his mask, causing the fish riders to look at him angrily. Duval growls as he covers his face with his hand. Why you, fine, take a good look at my scarred face. Duval turns his head to show the crew, shocking the others, especially Sanji. What? Usopp and Chopper say. Nami gasps, no way. Sanji stays silent as he dives into the water and starts swimming to the base while Rose lands on the ship. Duval pulls out Sanji's wanted poster angrily. I've waited for this day. But finding you was a problem because the face on this poster is so different from your actual face. Bounty hunters could just pass you by with ease. When Marines look at me, however, they assume I'm you. You know what I say? I'm not him. I'm not even a pirate. Tears stream down his face as he reveals his face to look exactly like Sanji's wanted poster. Robin turns to Rose. I see what you mean. Rose nods as she and the others watch Sanji run on the base and jumps to kick Duval. Who cares? He kicks Duval in the head, causing him to turn to him in irritation. What do you mean, who cares? If you don't take responsibility, then who will. Shut up. I'm more pissed off about that wanted poster than anyone. The group on the Sunny watch the encounter in fascination. Wow, I can't believe these things happen, Chopper says. What a crazy world we live in. Nami says. You got that right. Rose says as she leans against the railing. Good thing I got the laughing out of my system before the fight. Sanji has to have been born under some kind of crazy star, Usopp says. He'll definitely have. Robin says with a grin. Frankie starts bawling and wipes the tears with his arm. Hey guys, can't we try being friends with Duval? Rose nods while looking at the group on the base react to this. Wow, they really look alike, huh? Hachi says. Like two peas in a pod. Zoro says when Brook starts laughing like a madman and falling to his knees while banging on the ground. Yo ho 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 ho. Sanji turns to him in irritation. Brook, I'm going to kick your ass when this is over. Luffy waves at Sanji. We'll sit this one out. You can take care of this. Don't act like it's my fault. Sanji turns to Duval. If you didn't want to look like the wanted poster, why didn't you just change your hair? Or grow a beard? Duval glares at him for a moment before pounding his open palm. I didn't think of that. If you're that stupid, you can only blame yourself. Just shut up and die. Duval launches the harpoons at Sanji, which he dodges but leaves himself cornered with the ocean behind his back and the fish riders with a steel net charging at him. Shit. Rose flies up and tries to use her wind to get Sanji out of the way, but was forced to dodge the attacks that 5 fish riders were making while surrounding her. Pretty impressive, girl. Too bad we have to kill you now. One of the fish riders say as he tries to shoot at her, but the shot goes through her. Why you? Rose fights off the fish riders as the fish riders with the net caught Sanji and dragged him underwater. Luffy tried to run after him, but Zoro stopped him. You'll just drown, Luffy. I'll go. Hachi stops him and prepares to go. Neither of you can catch up. I'll go. Duval laughs at him. Don't bother, even a fish man can't catch up to those fish. Sanji is as good as dead. Poppig shakes his head as he points to the water. Maybe not a fish man, but a mermaid is the fastest thing in the water. The others look around and realize Kami already dove after Sanji. Is Kami really that great? Luffy asks. Poppig nods. Yup, they're the fastest swimmers in the world. It's one of the reasons why hunters tried to kidnap them. While the conversation was going on, Rose used her staff to create wind blades to slash the fish, then slam the riders to the base. That takes care of them. Oh shit. Rose turns in shock to see some of the fish riders holding a giant anchor above the Sunny. The Sunny can take care of it. She faces off the incoming fish riders while the others protect the Sunny. Long Nose, wait for my signal. We're gonna use the secret weapon. Frankie yells as he gets to the steering wheel of the ship. Secret weapon, okay. Usopp nods as he gets to the position. Do it, Frankie yells as he and Usopp manage to get the ship to go in reverse and dodge the giant anchor from hitting them. What the hell? Who heard of a ship going in reverse? One of the remaining few fish riders yell in shock. Rose flew behind them with a smirk. Actually, I've seen ships that do that plenty of times. The fish riders pale as they slowly turn to her, only to get hit in the nose by twister punches and sent flying next to Duval. Don't think dodging is all we can do either, Frankie yells as he and Usopp got the lion's head to open its mouth and reveal a cannon. Awesome. Luffy, Rose and Chopper yell as they look at the cannon in excitement while the others look at it in shock. Ready, Long Nose? Frankie yells. Ready, Usopp yells. Good. Then let's give them a taste of the gown cannon. The Sunny fired the gown cannon and destroyed the rest of the base. The Sunny's a monster. Awesome. Rose looks at the ship with excitement as she lands on the deck and pats Usopp and Frankie on the back. That was awesome, guys. Thanks, we can't use it too much though because of the amount of cola it uses. Frankie says as he grabs a bottle of cola. Then everyone looks to see Kami pulling Sanji up to the surface. Great work, Kami. Nami says as everyone looks at her. Is Sanji okay? Chopper asks when Nami looks at them nervously while holding Sanji to her chest. Guys, I need help, he's bleeding. What? Did they beat him up? Frankie yells. Rose face palms at the realization of what's going on. Pervert, trust me, he's fine. They all look closely to see Sanji having a nosebleed while he's being held close to Kami. Usopp's sweat drops. Just leave him be. What? He's still alive. Duval yells in rage. Luffy looks at him blankly. You're kind of running out of grunts. Why you? Try my cow Motobaro for size. Duval charges at Luffy with his cow. Watch out, Luffy. Chopper yells when Luffy blocks the cow and holds him back. Luffy starts glaring at the cow. There's no point in fighting. The cow starts trembling and running away and passing out, causing Duval to fall to the ground and the crew to look at him curiously. What happened to the cow? Zoro asks. He just passed out, Nami says. It looks like Luffy defeated him by glaring at him, Robin says. Rose looks at the scene curiously. I saw this happen in the manga, but it's weird. I always thought Luffy's haki awoke after Hachi got shot. But looks like it's not the case. When exactly did it awaken? Wait, stop. Duval screams in pain, causing Rose to snap out of her thoughts as they watch Sanji kick the crap out of Duval. Parage shoot. Sanji yells as he keeps kicking Duval's face until he passed out. Then the crew, Kami, Hachi and Popig left the base safely. So, in order to get to Fishman Island we need to see an engineer who can coat the Sunny with a resin. Frankie asks as he and the others enjoy Kami and Hachi's takoyaki. Popig nods as Kami and Hachi keep cooking for everybody. That's right. We know of an engineer that can help you at Sabaody Archipelago. We can lead you there, but for now just relax and enjoy the takoyaki. Frankie nods as everyone enjoys the food. This takoyaki is too good. Luffy says as he eats up as much takoyaki as he could grab. I could eat this until the day I die, but I'm already dead. Yo-ho-ho-ho. Brook says as he eats his. I'm impressed with the flavor of the sauce. Sanji says as he eats his food. This is great. Rose eats her food and was about to stop Luffy from grabbing one of hers but stops her hand and lets him take it. Chopper notices that and looks at her worried. You okay, Rose? You always manage to stop him? Rose nods. I'm okay. I guess my food guard is off today. Usopp snickers. Oh really? Maybe you just wanted him to haul? Rose cuts him off with an elbow to the ribs. Sorry Usopp. What was that? And nothing. He shakes his head while Luffy and Chopper laugh at what they saw. Luffy tries to grab one of her pieces of takoyaki again but Rose stops him with a fork to his hand. I'm not that generous. Rose says with a smirk as she gets back to her food while everyone laughs. I can't act too weird now. I have to act like everything is. Young master. Everyone looks to the horizon to see Duval with a rearranged face and the fish riders behind him. That guy was the leader? Luffy looks at him shocked. Sanji nods. I rearranged his face so he wouldn't look like the wanted poster anymore. I'm impressed. Rose says as she finishes her food and watches the scene unfold. After I woke up I was so stunned. I can't believe how handsome you made me. I can't just go back to my old life until I repaid my debt to you. It's fine. I'd rather not see you Agoi. Listen to me. Sanji yells as Duval stares at his new face in a handheld mirror then sees Nami patting her face with a napkin. Oh my, even the ladies are blowing kisses, I'll happily accept. I was wiping my face, Nami yells while Robin giggles. In any case, here's my Den Den Mushi number. If you guys need anything let me know. Sanji reluctantly takes it then watches as the fish riders leave. Rose keeps a smile on her face as everyone starts relaxing on the deck. That fight was pretty fun. Whatever happens now, there's no turning back. Rose softly sighed as she kept quiet while the boat started making its way to Sabaody Archipelago. Chapter 20. The crew starts making its way to Sabaody Archipelago with Rose anxiously waiting for them to arrive. We'll be there soon. If I'm going to get this picture to the others before we separate I should find a place quickly. Rose gets up from her seat and walks up to Kami. So Kami, you said that Sabaody Archipelago is that way? She points to the general direction causing the mermaid to nod. That's right. We should be there in an hour or so. I see. Rose turns to the group. If you guys don't mind could I go ahead? I want to make sure we don't have any marines to deal with. If I just stay here and wait I might crack. I need to keep myself busy. Robin looks at her curiously before nodding. I think that's a wise decision. The others nod in agreement with Luffy running up to her. Can I go too? Rose nods. I don't see why not. Anyone else want to come? Usopp and Chopper were about to speak, but Nami glares holes in the back of their heads, causing them to sweat drop. No thanks, go ahead. Sanji runs up to Luffy. If you do anything to Rose, I'll fry you. Luffy nods with a grin. Relax Sanji, we'll be back soon. I know where the Sunny's gonna dock, so we'll meet you guys there. Rose started to use her wind to lift the two of them off the deck and found a cloud to hide the two of them in as they made their way to the island. There's definitely something bothering her. Zoro thinks as he looks at the others. No point in worrying them. I'll just have to stay on my guard while we're here. Zoro places his hands behind his head and starts napping while the others start getting ready for the island. Luffy couldn't stop smiling as the two of them flew in the cloud and just arrived at Sabaody Archipelago. Whoa! This is so cool. Why are there bubbles everywhere? Luffy asks as he sees the bubbles floating all over the island. You see, this place isn't actually an island. It's a bunch of trees grown from a mangrove. These bubbles are formed from the roots here. Rose uses her wind to send some of the bubbles up to the cloud for him to see. Whoa! Luffy pokes the bubble and pushes the bubbles together to form a giant bubble, then pushes himself inside. Hey Rose. Stop using your wind on me for a sec. I want to see if I can fly in the bubble. She giggles at the bubble, then nods as she releases her wind to see Luffy floating by himself. Awesome. He flies around for a bit and notices the amusement park. Hey Rose, look at that. Luffy points at it with excitement and accidentally pokes a hole in his bubble. Before he fell out of the cloud, Rose caught him with her wind. Don't worry, I got you. Whoa, the theme park looks awesome, Rose says as they fly over the groves to survey the area and get closer to the amusement park. The photo shop on Grove 40 looks like a good place to develop the pictures. After looking around the amusement park, we should get back to the others. Wow, there's a Ferris wheel too, Luffy says as he points to it while Rose looks at the roller coaster. I can't wait for the roller coaster, Rose says when Luffy tugs on her arm. Hey Rose, look at that. He points to two teens, a red-haired guy and a black-haired girl that are making out on a bench. Rose looks at them in disbelief. Seriously? We'd better leave them alone. We shouldn't spy on them, Luffy. Come on, let's. Cheater. Rose stops to see a teenage girl with blonde hair and blue eyes running up to the couple and hitting the red-haired black-eyed guy, causing him to fall off the bench. The black-haired green-eyed girl that was on the bench looks at them in confusion. Taran, do you know this girl? Of course I know him. This guy's my boyfriend, the blonde yells, causing her to look at him in shock. What? He's my boyfriend. Tell her Taron. The guy known as Taran looks at them with no remorse. What's wrong with having two girlfriends? You jerk. I can't believe you cheated on me. The blonde-haired girl goes to hit him again, but he dodges, causing her to fall on her face while the black-haired girl is frozen in shock. Sorry, but a guy's got his needs. At least it was fun. Taran smirks as he starts walking away, but a gust of wind sends him flying and lands him head first in a trash can filled with garbage. He tries to get out, but he's completely stuck as he flails his legs to try to escape until the garbage can fell over and another gust of wind rolled it away. What the hell? Help me. His calls were ignored as the can rolled off into the distance until he was no longer seen. That's what you get, you pig. The black-haired girl cheers as she and the blonde girl walk away together. Did you do that, Rose? Luffy asks as the two of them fly away from the amusement park in the cloud. Rose shifts her eyes everywhere while lying. I didn't do that. Quit lying. What did she mean by him cheating on her? Oh man, what to say? She looks at him nervously. Well, cheating is when someone does things a couple should with a different person. A couple is what you call the two people who kissed, right? Yay, no, I mean, yes and no. A couple, crap. How the hell do I explain this? Luffy looks at her impatiently. Come on, what is it? Okay. Let's make one thing clear. Nami was wrong. When you kiss someone, that's not the only person you can kiss. Luffy blinks in surprise. They're not. She nods. Yay. That rule only applies if those two people are a couple. A couple is, how do I put this? Two people who love each other more than nakama. Luffy looks at her curiously. More than nakama? She nods with an embarrassing blush on her face. Yay. These two people have strong feelings for each other that make them want to stay by each other's side. Okay, that's enough of that. So you understand that you're free to be in love with anyone you want even though we kissed? Luffy nods as he scratches his head in thought, then looks at her seriously. How can two people become a? Guys, are you up there? Chopper yells, causing them to look down from the cloud to see that they're at the Sunny. We can talk more later. I'm gonna drop you off here, Luffy. I gotta take care of an errand. I know where you guys are heading, so I'll see you later. Rose says, causing Luffy to nod as she lowers him to the ground, then flies away. Where's Freckles going? Frankie asks. Luffy shrugs. She said she had to take care of an errand. I'm sure she'll catch up later. We should get going. Robin says as some of the crew starts leaving with Kami, Poppig and Hachi to explore the island. Arg, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I explained what a couple is to Luffy. I hope he actually understood that we aren't one. Rose rubs her head in frustration as she lands in front of the camera shop. It's not like I don't want us to be one. But, does he even feel that way, or does he just like kissing? She sighs as she walks into the store. Forget it. Even if he does feel like that, it would only hurt him more when everyone separates. I can deal with love after the 2 years if Luffy does feel that way. Rose walks up to the old clerk and takes out the camera. Excuse me. I would like to get the picture in this camera developed, please. The clerk nods as he takes the camera. Very well, miss. How many copies would you like? 10, please. He nods as he heads to the back room to get the pictures ready. She takes a seat while waiting and hugs her knees close to her chest until she hears the clerk coming. She quickly stands up when the clerk comes out with the camera and an envelope with the pictures inside. I must say, I developed many pictures in my day, but this is the strangest group of people I have ever seen. He says as he hands her the envelope and camera while she hands him the money. She softly chuckles. Yay, we're one of a kind. You guys are also some of the happiest people I've ever seen on camera. He hands her half the money back, causing her to look at him in confusion. For letting me see how happy you and your friends are, consider my price cut in half. You're very lucky, miss. Before grinning. Yay, I really am. Thank you. She inspects herself for any of Robin's ears, causing the clerk to look at her in confusion before she whispers to him. Just so you know, I heard that an admiral will be coming today to fight some pirates. I recommend closing early so you wouldn't get caught in the crossfire. He looks at her in surprise before nodding. Thank you for the warning. She nods as she walks out of the shop. She makes an air scooter to travel back to the ship when she is stopped by a gang of 20 bounty hunters. Why, hello there, little girl. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you Katone Rose? That's right. There are bounty hunters by the dozen here. She looks at him blankly. If I am? The head bounty hunter smirks as he gets his gun out. Then I suggest you leave her alone. The bounty hunters and Rose turn in shock as 3 guys in jumpsuits run to the scene. One of them has orange hair and a red cap, while another one is wearing a cap that says, Penguin, on it. The most bizarre of them all was a giant polar bear in an orange jumpsuit standing behind them in a crane pose. Why don't you pick on somebody your own size? The guy with orange hair says as he and the other 2 got ready to fight. The head bounty hunter starts laughing. Want to play the hero, huh? Alright. Half of you take care of the girl. The rest help me take care of these 3. We can fetch the polar bear for a good price. The 3 guys in the jumpsuits charged to fight while Rose took out her staff and takes care of her bounty hunters with ease. Never thought I'd meet members of Law's crew. It was nice of them to help. Rose creates a whirlwind with her staff and sent the men flying and slammed them to a building and knocked them out. She turns to see the 2 humans get pinned to the ground from behind while the polar bear is struggling to fight off the men. The head bounty hunter smirks at the 2 guys. Pathetic. He turns to see if his guys caught Rose, only to get hit in the nose by a twister kick and get knocked out. Windblade. Rose creates a windblade to hit the guys pinning the shocked guys and force them off of them. Rose focuses a small orb of wind on the palm of her free hand, then aims it at the guy about to hit the polar bear from behind. Wind cannon. She hits him the gut and sends him flying to a building while the polar bear finishes taking care of the rest of the bounty hunters. What the hell? The guy in the penguin cap looks at her in utter shock as he and the redhead get up. She turns to the 3 of them with a grin. Sorry for the trouble and thanks for the help. My name's Rose. She politely bows to them, causing them to nervously bow back. No problem. The guy with orange hair says while hiding his blush. My name's Shachi. And the other human is Penguin and the polar bear is Beppo. Rose smiles as she straightens up. Nice to meet you guys. I'm sorry for not helping enough. Beppo says as he stays in a bowing position. She raises her hands defensively. Oh no, don't apologize Beppo. You did great. What are you guys doing here anyway? We're looking for our captain, Penguin says. What's going on here? The four of them turn to find a tan guy in a yellow and black hoodie, a spotted cap, silver eyes and tattoos on the back of his hands walking up to them. Oh crap, it's Trafalgar Law. At least I know he's an ally. Rose stays calm while Shachi, Beppo and Penguin run up to him. Hi Captain. We saw these thugs about to attack our friend Rose so we helped her out, Shachi says while pointing at Rose. Penguin nods excitedly. She didn't need our help though, you should have seen her Captain. She was like, he imitates Rose's staff movements. Whoosh, fly, pow, she was so cool. Law quirks an eyebrow then looks at Rose who's sweat dropping at Penguin's movements. I think Penguin's over-exaggerating. Anyway, it's a pleasure to meet you. As Shachi said I'm Rose. She shakes his hand while he looks at her curiously. Pleasure's mine. The name's Trafalgar Law. You're a pirate, right? What's your bounty? Rose quirks an eyebrow as she takes her hand back. Why's he asking? Yay, I'm a pirate with a 97 million bounty? What? Shachi, Beppo and Penguin yell in shock. She giggles at that. Yay, those thugs were actually bounty hunters. Thanks again for the help. I'm sorry, but I have to get going. My crewmates will be wondering where I am. I'll see you guys around. Rose waves them off as she creates another air scooter and rides away, causing the four of them to watch her leave in shock. Law recovers from the shock then chuckles. Interesting girl. Rose made it back to the ship to see Sanji, Usopp and Frankie playing cards on the deck. Hi guys. Sanji looks at her with hearts in his eyes and starts love tornadoing over to her. Hello Rose Schwan. How was your errand? It went really well. She dug into her bag and grabbed the envelope and took out a photo of the crew for each of them. Here you guys go. Usopp looks at his photo happily. Wow, the photo wound up pretty good. Thanks, wanna play with us? Rose nods. Why not? Just one game though. I gotta catch up to the others. Super, we're playing blackjack, Frankie says as he's dealing the cards for the three of them. So, anything new happened while I was gone? Rose asks as she looks at her pair of aces. Usopp shakes his head. Not much, Frankie and I fixed up the Sunny. I was testing out some new recipes I found. Sanji says as he looks at his 8 and king and waves his hand for no more cards. Sounds nice. You know, you guys can ride these bubbles. Rose says as she motions to split her aces. The new cards reveal a 9 and 8. Really? That sounds like fun. I'll try it later. Usopp says as he looks at his 6 and 10 and motions for another card. The next card was a 7, causing him to go over 21 and loses. Rose pats him on the shoulder. Better luck next time. Frankie reveals his cards to a pair of 6 and when he added a new card it revealed it to be a 10, causing him to go over 21 and lose. Not super, Frankie says. Rose and Sanji high five. Great job Rose. Right back at you Sanji. Rose says as she gets up. I should get going. I'll see you guys later. Have fun Freckles. Frankie says. Rose turns to him as she starts flying away. Did I ever tell you how much I like it when you call me Freckles, Frankie? No, well I do. I'll see y'all later big bro. Frankie looks at her in shock before giving her a thumbs up as she leaves. Super. Rose flew up into a cloud to search for the others on the island. I know that most of the others will be at the shopping center and the amusement park. Since Zoro's the odd man out I should go find him. He should have faced the celestial dragon by now so he should be bringing the guy that got shot to the... Let me go. I don't want to be married to a celestial dragon. Rose looks down from her cloud to see a guard carrying a woman in a nurse's outfit with her arms and legs tied over his shoulder on an empty street. Just shut up woman. You should be grateful to be chosen as one of the celestial dragon's wives. The guard says as he keeps walking until Rose lands in front of them. Out of my way. I'm a guard to a celestial dragon. A world-class noble. If you defy me you defy him. The guard says while Rose stays still. Rose smirks as she looks around. Sorry, I don't see any world-class nobles here or any of their guards. All I see is a lowlife thug kidnapping a woman for a piece of S. Miss, you don't want to go, right? The woman shakes her head. No, I don't. Rose nods. You heard her, so just put her down and walk away while you still have your dignity. The man gets irritated and pulls a gun out with his free hand. Oh, yay? Take this. He shoots at her, but the bullet goes through her, causing both the guard and the woman to look at her in shock. What are you? A logia user? Rose nods. Good guess. Now please put her down. He quickly nods and places the woman down and nervously steps away while Rose walks up to the woman. Don't walk out. The woman yells, causing Rose to turn, only for a metal rod to be swung through her head courtesy of the guard. Rose twitches an eyebrow in irritation. Seriously, what's with all the shonen thugs attacking after they're shown mercy? You pain in the ass? She turns her arm into a twister. Twister punch. She hits the guard in the face and sends him flying head first in some trash cans and knocked him out cold. Rose grins as she turns her arm back to normal. He should be out for a while, so we won't have to worry about the nobles. She grabs her staff and unsheathes one of the blades, then turns back to the nurse who's struggling with the ropes frantically. Hey, take it easy. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm gonna cut the ropes, so just stay still. The nurse calms down and stays still as Rose cuts the ropes. Why did you save me? You know how dangerous the celestial dragons are, right? What exactly are you anyway? Rose finishes cutting the ropes, then helped her up and led her away from the area. Let's see, for your first question, I never liked how celestial dragons think they can take whatever and whoever they want. Since you don't want to be a celestial dragon's wife, I felt that I should give you a hand. Second question. I do know how dangerous the celestial dragons are, but I still find them pieces of S for using their power like spoiled brats. As for your last question. I'm definitely human, but I ate a devil fruit that turned my body into wind. I'm sorry for scaring you back there. My name's Rose, by the way. What's your name? The nurse looks at her in shock. I'm Mari. Thank you so much for saving me. Oh wait. My fiancé was shot by a celestial dragon. I need to go to the hospital to see if he's there. Wait, I think Zoro was involved in this. Oh, I remember, Zoro brought her fiancé to the hospital. Do you know how to get to the hospital? I have to meet a friend at the hospital, so I can take you there. The nurse nods. Thank you so much. Rose nods as she sends the two of them flying in a cloud and flew them quickly to the hospital. Zoro just walked out of the hospital after dropping a guy off, then looks up in shock to see Rose and Mari landing right in front of him. Your fiancé should be inside. Thanks again for the directions. Mari eagerly nods, then bows to her with happy tears in her eyes. Thank you so much, Rose. I won't forget this kindness. She quickly runs inside while Zoro walks up to her. I take it you saw this coming? Rose shakes her head. Only you bringing the guy to the hospital. I was on my way to see you in order to drop this off when I saw Mari being taken by a goon. She hands him his photo, causing him to look at it. Thanks. So, you see anything else? I shouldn't reveal too much. I see the others riding the Ferris wheel. I gotta get going. See y'all later, Zoro, and don't get lost. Rose starts flying away while Zoro looks at her angrily. I don't get lost. He huffs in frustration as he stuffs the photo in his pocket and walks around the island. Rose flew over the shopping center when she spots Nami and Robin using the bubbles to carry their stuff. She lands right in front of them. Hi guys. Hi Rose. What are you doing here? Robin asks when Rose hands them both a photo. Just doing some photo deliveries. The picture of the crew turned out pretty good. Nami snickers as she digs into her bag. You're right, it does look good. I got a photo for you too. Rose looks at her in confusion until Nami shows her a photo of her sleeping while snuggled up to a sleeping Luffy's chest, with the both of them wearing soft grins as they wrap their arms around each other. Rose couldn't hide her blush as she looks at the photo. What the hell? You took this after I recovered from being a kid? Nami nods. Yup, you can have this, but on one condition. I really don't like where this is going. She stares at the ground nervously to avoid Nami and Robin's stares. What's the condition? Nami devilishly smirks as she grabs Rose's wrist and takes her to a clothing shop, with Robin giggling while following them. Come on out, Rose. Nami says as she and Robin are waiting for Rose to come out of the changing room. No way. I feel silly. I'm changing, bah hey. Robin used her devil fruit powers to sprout arms into the changing room and throw Rose's original clothes over the door for her and Nami to catch. "This isn't funny, guys," Rose says. "You can get your clothes back when you come out," Robin says, causing Rose to unlock the door and walk out in jean shorts, a short light purple button-up shirt dress with sleeves up to her elbows, a black belt around her stomach, black flats and her family's necklace. She looks to the ground to hide her eyes with her bangs but couldn't hide the blush on her face. "You two happy now?" Both of them giggle at Rose's embarrassment. "You look adorable, Rose," Robin says. "Just one more thing," Nami says as she hands Rose her clothes, then goes behind her and puts her hair up in a ponytail with a floral hair tie that shows a purple flower in her hair. "Perfect, now that's cute." Rose looks in the mirror to see the floral hair tie holding her ponytail. "Oh man, I feel so girly." Nami walks up behind her. "Now as for the agreement, you can't change back until tomorrow." Rose turns to her tiredly. "I don't have a choice in this, do I?" Nami shakes her head. "Sorry. Don't worry, I'm sure Luffy will find you cute." Rose's blush doubled as Nami went to the cashier to pay. "So, what's going to happen today, Rose?" Robin asks as she hands her the rest of her original clothes. Rose froze for a moment before placing her clothes in her bag, then grabs Robin's arm and brings her to an empty changing room and closes the door behind her. Robin quirks an eyebrow as Rose looks at her nervously. "I can't tell you what will happen. But, please trust me in that what happens today will be for the good of the crew. I know I shouldn't ask you that, but please." Rose looks at the ground while clenching her fists. Robin looks at her in surprise, then hugs her. "It must be bad to make her so upset. If she doesn't want to prevent it, then it must be for our own good, okay? I'll trust you. If you know everything will be alright, then I believe in you." Rose quietly nods, then hugs back while quietly letting some of her tears flow. "Thanks, Robin." When they let go of each other, they hear Nami's voice. "Hey guys, where are you?" Rose quickly wipes the tears and calls out, "We'll be right out." She starts walking out but stops and turns to Robin with a smile. "Thanks again, Robin, for everything." Robin smiles back at her as they walk out to catch up to Nami. "Alright, here you go, Rose." Nami hands her the photo, causing Rose to quickly place it in her bag. "So, you told Luffy that the kissing rule was fake?" Nami asks with clear disappointment in her voice. "Yup, I had to clear it up sooner or later," Rose says as they start heading out of the store. "Does this mean you realize that you don't have feelings for him, or?" Rose lifted a hand to stop Robin. "I do have feelings, for Luffy I mean." Rose looks away with a blush on her face while trying to avoid Nami's excited stare. "That's great. So, when are you going to tell him?" She gives her a serious look. "Not happening." Nami looks at her in confusion. "Why not? Since you know you have feelings for him, it's all the better." Rose shakes her head with a soft grin. "Sorry, it's better if I don't do it now. Don't say anything to him either, got it?" She points at Nami with a serious glare on her face. Nami laughs at her defensiveness. "Relax. Telling him is your job. I'll be cheering from the sidelines though." Rose cautiously nods. "Alright." She looks up at the clock. "Oh boy. I gotta catch up to the others at the theme park. I'll see you guys later." She hurriedly waves them off and flies away while the two girls laugh at her excitement. "I'm so glad Rose realized her feelings. I wish she would tell him though," Nami says, causing Robin to nod. "I'm sure she'd worry if it looks like it's taking too slow, we can give them a push," Robin says, with Nami agreeing with a mischievous grin on her face as they continue shopping. Rose starts flying to the amusement park to find Luffy, Chopper, Brook, Hachi, and Kami heading for the roller coaster. "Hey guys." Rose calls out to them, causing the group to turn to her, then widen their eyes in utter shock. Rose quirks an eyebrow. "What's the matter with?" She looks down and realizes that they're looking at her outfit. "Why yay, this was Nami's doing, don't ask." "You look wonderful, Rose-san." "I can't resist asking, would you let me see your panties?" Brook asks, causing Rose to fly up and hit him in the head. "Not happening." "You look great," Luffy says with a toothy grin while the others nod in agreement. Rose lightly blushes and scratches her head nervously. Thanks. "Oh guys. Here." She digs into her bag for the photos while not noticing Luffy still staring at her. "I feel weird again. I kind of like this weird though. It's happening a lot lately. Am I getting sick?" "Hey Luffy." Luffy snaps out of his thoughts when Rose was up to his face. You okay? I'm usually the one stuck in my thoughts. Here. She hands him his photo, causing him to focus on that while avoiding her gaze. Thanks. Rose blinks in surprise. He's stuttering. I've never seen him like that before. He's kinda cute. So, what rides are you guys heading to? We're heading to the roller coaster next. Come on. Chopper says as they make their way to the rides. Whoa! The group yells in excitement as they ride the roller coaster, the teacups and the other fast-moving rides. Ha ha ha, that was great, Luffy says as they take a break on a bench. Rose nods in agreement. Nothing beats an amusement park. Where should we go next? Poppig asks. How about the Ferris wheel? Kami wants to go there, correct? Brook asks, causing Kami to nod. The group makes it over there and rides on with Luffy, Rose and Kami in one car while the others ride in another car. Wow, we're so high up, Kami says as she rides with excitement. You're really that happy? Luffy asks, causing her to turn to them happily. Yay! I've always wanted to ride the Ferris wheel ever since I was small. The only reason Poppig and Hachi allowed me to come today was because of how strong you guys are. Thank you so much. Luffy nods with a grin. Anytime, Kami. Rose looks at them with a soft grin. I'm glad she's having fun. I wish everyone could just stay like this forever. She looks outside softly for the remainder of the ride. After the ride ends, everyone meets back up. That was great, Brook says. Let's go on the other rides. Chopper says as they ride on almost every ride in the park. After a while they stop to take a break. You guys want some ice cream? Rose asks as she points to an ice cream stand, causing them all to nod. Kami, just wait right here, Hachi says as he places her on the bench. I'll pick out a flavor for you, Poppig says with her nodding. Pick a tasty one for me. Poppig nods as the group goes and choose their flavors. Rose grabs her vanilla ice cream while the others grab their ice cream. This is pretty good. Wait. Rose freezes at the realization that it's time for Kami to get kidnapped and turns to see her gone. Oh crap, guys, we lost Kami. What? The guys turn in shock to see her gone and look around for her frantically. Rose flies up in the air to try and find them, but there's no sight of Kami and the slave traders. Man, those guys are fast. Looks like it's time now. I can't see them. I'm gonna go search for her. Take me with you, Luffy says. As two, Hachi and Poppig say. Rose nods. Alright. Chopper and Brook, I want you guys to call the ship and tell them what happened. Chopper and Brook nod as she sends the others flying with her to search the island for Kami. Rose, Luffy, Hachi and Poppig have just left another human shop in frustration after not being able to find Kami inside. Sigh, I can't remember which grove the auction house is. Even if I did, I should keep my mouth shut anyway. Rose pushes her bangs back in frustration when Poppig started crying. Damn it, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have brought her to the amusement park. It's a kidnapper's favorite spot. Luffy looks at him in confusion. But Kami was so happy, wasn't it fine? No, it's not fine. For a mermaid or a fishman, coming to this island is dangerous. But Hachi wanted to help you guys. That's enough, Poppig, Hachi says. Why isn't it okay, Hachi? Luffy asks. Because of the fishman discrimination, Rose says, causing Poppig to nod. Discrimination? Luffy asks. I should have explained how this island is and made sure Kami didn't come here. Poppig keeps crying in frustration. I'm sorry, Poppig. Rose looks at him softly and pats him on the head. I'm sorry, Straw Hat. I wanted to help you, but I only caused more trouble, Hachi says. What are you saying? You didn't do anything wrong. You guys are our friends. We'll save Kami no matter what, so stop crying, Luffy says. Rose nods while Poppig calms down when the fish riders arrive. Guys, we heard what happened. We can take you to where Kami is, one of the fish riders call out. Thanks, guys. Rose says as she and the others hop onto a different flying fish and go to find Kami. Are you really willing to buy Kami back, Nami? Hachi asks as he, Poppig, Nami, Chopper, Frankie, Rose, and Sanji start making their way to the auction house. Nami nods. If it's to get back our friend, then money is no object. Are you guys okay with this? Chopper nods as he goes into heavy point. Money's no object. It's the least we can do to get her back, Frankie says. As long as we get Kami back, it'll work out. Rose says. Looks like everything is working out like in the manga. I just gotta lay low. The group nods in agreement as they get inside to see the head auctioneer. Disco announces another slave. Rose looks around and sees Shachi, Penguin and Beppo waving at her. She quietly waves back until Law looks at her, then glares at his crew members to stop waving, then turns his attention back to the auction. Are all supernovas hard to read? Oh well. She shrugs her shoulders as she keeps looking around to see Eustace Kid staring at the group with a smirk. Right, Kid's here too. I know he's not our enemy now, but I still don't trust him. She freezes when the main doors open to a chubby world nobleman with black hair and snot hanging from his nose walking inside with the guard Rose had beaten up. Crap. The goon woke up. I can't let him recognize me. She quietly moves to the opposite side of the group and makes it so that Chopper blocks their view of her. You okay, Rose? Chopper whispers. Rose nods. I'm okay, Doc. I kind of beat a guy up and he's here. So can you stay still so he doesn't see me and cause a scene? Chopper nods in understanding. No problem. The group watches as the celestial dragon and the guard are escorted to their seat in the front of the room. Rose quietly sighs in relief. Thanks, Doc. That was close. I better stay hidden behind Chopper until the bidding ends. Kya. Everyone looks in shock to see that the pirate about to be sold bit his tongue off. I can't believe it. Nami says. Rather than living the life of a slave, he chose to die. He might have made the right choice, Sanji says. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the scare. The item I am about to bring out will blow away all of your troubles in an instant, Disco announces as the shadow of a mermaid in a giant fish bowl is shown behind the curtain. Please look at this silouette. I won't say anymore, for you can see it with your eyes. All the way from Fishman Island, Kami the mermaid. Disco pulls away the curtain to reveal Kami with a neck collar and chains around her wrists trapped in the fish bowl. Kami, Hachi says while the others look at the fish bowl and get ready to bid. With 200 million we'll get her back, Nami says. Kami lights up as she back. 500 million belly. The black-haired celestial dragon yells, causing the entire room to look at him in shock. Kami tries yelling but the fish bowl blocks out her voice. Nami looks at the announcer with horror. We don't have that kind of money. Is there anything we can do, Sanji? Chopper asks. Sanji looks at the stage with dread while smoking. I never imagined this would happen. We were only counting our money problems, but now this is much worse. What are we going to do? Frankie says. Hachi starts getting worked up. If it comes down to it, I'll take her by force and escape to the ocean. Unbelievable, we received a 500 million bid. Anyone wish to go higher? Anyone at all? Disco announces with excitement for a second until pointing to Kami. Time's up. Today's big prize, Kami the mermaid, was won by the celestial dragon Street Charlos. Wah! Luffy yells as he, Zoro and a fish rider crash into the building. Guys! The crew call out to them as they recover from the rubble. What the hell was that? Couldn't you land better? Luffy says to the fish rider. How could I have landed better when your friend jumped onto the fish? I just heard, get on, so I did. Oh hey, you guys are here. Zoro says as he turns to the group. Luffy turns to the stage and sees Kami. Luffy, Kami calls out but she can't be heard. Hang on, Kami. Luffy runs up to the stage but was being held back by Hachi. As he was pulling Luffy back, his extra arms are revealed, showing everyone that he's a fishman. Kaya, a fishman. The crowd yells as they jeer at Hachi and starts throwing things at him, but the wind lightly moved the items to make them miss him. These guys really piss me off. Rose focuses her wind lightly to make the items miss Hachi while holding back her temper until she heard gunshots being heard and looks up to see Hachi has been shot by St. Charlos. Hachi. The crew yells when Hachi collapses with bullet wounds on his torso while the auctioneers look like they're happy that Hachi was shot. Mufufufu. I caught a fishman, yippee. I got a fishman slave for free. St. Charlos is dancing with joy. Luffy clenches his fists in rage and starts walking up to St. Charlos until Hachi grabs his arm while panting. Wait, Pant, Straw Hat, don't get mad, Pant, it was my fault. You promised, remember? Cough. That even if someone was shot in front of you that you wouldn't attack a celestial dragon. I've done bad things in my life. Pant, this is my punishment. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I only wanted to make it up to Nami. Hachi, Nami cover her mouth while trying to hold back the tears while everyone else is holding back their anger. In the end though, cough I just caused trouble, I'm so sorry. Hachi couldn't hold back his tears while St. Charlos looks at him furiously. Damn fish man. I shot you and yet you're still talking. You piss me off. St. Charlos aims his gun at Hachi but Luffy blocks him while furiously glaring at him. Luffy starts slowly walking up to St. Charlos while not taking his glare off of him. Straw Hat, don't do it, it will only lead to trouble, Popig yells but Luffy keeps going. The other crew members watch in silence while accepting their captain's decision. Don't hold back, Captain. Rose clenches her fists as she watches Luffy approach him. You piss me off too. Go die. St. Charlos tries to shoot Luffy but he dodges the bullets. Luffy growls while pulling his arm back and punches St. Charlos in the face and sends him flying to the wall, causing everyone in the room to be in utter shock while the other celestial dragons call the Marines. All of the auctioneers stare at the knocked out celestial dragon in shock while the pirates look at him in acceptance of Luffy's action. Luffy cracks his knuckles as he turns to the group. Sorry guys. I heard that if I hit that guy an admiral would be coming. Zoro sighs in disappointment. Thanks to you sending him flying I couldn't cut him myself. Nami runs over to Hachi's side. Hang on Hachi. What have you guys done? Hachi says, we can't help it when it comes to Luffy, Nami says. What do we do now? Frankie asks, we need to get Cammy's collar from backstage. Chopper says, causing Frankie to nod. Kami and Popig watch the group in awe. There's no turning back now, at least I can enjoy this fight. Rose cracks her knuckles while another celestial dragon stands up furiously. How dare you commoners attack my son? He starts shooting at the crew, causing the auctioneers to duck. We are the descendants of the creators of this world. Do you know what will happen to us? Sanji kicks the gun out of his hands, causing the surrounding guards to charge at him. Get away from St. Roswald. Guys, get Kami. Sanji fights off some of the guards while the others fight their way through and Frankie runs backstage. The guard that was with St. Charlos goes to attack Sanji from behind until he feels someone tapping his shoulder. He turns to see Rose smirking at him with one of her arms as a twister. Remember me? Oh she sends him flying with a twister uppercut as the auctioneers start running away while the guards keep coming. The rest of the crew fights off the guards to rescue Kami while Rose attacks the guards that were charging after Chopper and Hachi. How are his wounds, Doc? Chopper inspects his wounds and stops the bleeding while ignoring the guards Rose is fighting off. He's going to be okay for now, but we need to get him away from the crossfire and treated once we get Kami. Rose nods as she keeps fighting off the guards. St. Roswald along with his daughter St. Shalulia look at the fighting pirates in irritation while Law and Kid's crew enjoy the show. You worthless pirates. Call an admiral at once. St. Roswald yells, causing some of the guards to escape to make the call. 360 caliber Phoenix. Zoro slices through the top half of the fish bowl, causing there to be an opening in the bowl for Kami to speak to the others again. Just wait right there Kami. Hachi yells out. Kami nods. Okay Hakken, thank you. Crash. Everyone looks up to see the fish riders flying into the auction house and dropping off the remaining straw hats. Go get them Brook. The fish rider says as Brook jumps off the fish. Be careful Robin. Another one says as she jumps off. Beat them up Usopp. The last one says as he pushes Usopp off the fish. When did I say you can't push me? St. Roswald clenches his teeth in frustration. When I get my hands on these pirates, I'll have the women stuffed and the men worked to the bone. I wouldn't be so sure old man. Rose says as she points up, causing him to look up just before Usopp landed on him and knocked him out. Nice landing Usopp. Father. St. Shalulia yells in shock as she watches everyone fight. Sorry mister. Usopp says as he gets up. Luffy, where's Kami? She's on the stage. We need to get the bomb off of her neck then get out of here. The Marines will be here any minute. The Marines are already here Straw Hat yaw. Luffy turns to Law who's causally watching the show. The Marines have been here since the auction started and they've surrounded the whole auction house. I don't know who they wanted to catch but I bet they never dreamed of someone attacking a celestial dragon. You must be Trafalgar Law, Luffy. This man is another pirate with more than 100 million bounty, Robin says. Really? Luffy looks at him in shock. Law nods then chuckles. Fufu, You and your crewmates have shown me some interesting things today. First the wind girl and then this guy. These guys are entertaining. Wait, Princess Shalulia. I didn't receive the payment yet. Disco yells as Shalulia walks up to Kami with a gun in her hand. Shut up, commoner. I'm going to kill the mermaid they're trying to save. I don't think that's wise, princess. Rose turned her body into wind and materialized in front of her on stage, causing her to jump back in shock. You filthy witch. You'll die first. She points her gun at Rose, causing her to get ready to fight when all of a sudden the celestial dragon falls unconscious. Princess Shalulia. Disco yells out in concern while the crew looks at Rose in shock. You can knock people out with your glare? Luffy yells. I didn't do it, Rose yells out. You see, my giant friend? This place is messed up. The auction's over and I only got a small amount of money. Oh well, it's still good for gambling. Everyone looks in shock to see an old man and a giant tear through the curtain and walk onto the stage. You are one messed up old man. You let yourself get caught in order to steal some money? The giant asks. The old man nods as he takes a swig from his flask. Well, I was hoping to steal from the people that bought me too. But now that I think about it, who would want an old man for a slave? Ha 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 ha. Awesome. Silver's Rayleigh is here. Rose grins as Rayleigh sees everyone look at him in shock. Our Rayleigh? Hachi yells in shock. The coding guy is here? Which one? Chopper asks. Rayleigh's face lights up as he sees Hachi. Hey Hachi, it's been a while. Wait, where did you get those wounds? Aw, never mind. No need to say it. You pirates helped him out? In that case, Rayleigh activates his Conqueror's Haki and knocks out all of the guards in the room. What the hell did he do? Usopp yells. Just who is this old guy? Sanji asks. Rayleigh ignores their shocked faces and looks at Luffy. That straw hat suits a fearless man like you. I've been wanting to meet you, Monkey D. Luffy. You have? Luffy asks. Rayleigh nods. Yay, but we can talk about that later. Rose looks at the knocked out guards in excitement. Whoa, so that's how fully trained Haki looks up close. That's really cool. Wait, I didn't pass out. Whoa, hey, I wonder if I could. Rose snaps out of her thoughts when she notices Rayleigh staring at her with a friendly grin. Now this has been an interesting day. Never thought I'd see someone like you here. What? Does he sense something about me? Rose looks at him nervously until he laughs. My bad, I was thinking of someone else. My eyes must be messing with me. Oh well. He walks past her to get to the fishbowl. Rose rubs her temples in frustration as she watches Rayleigh start working on Cammy's collar. Did he really sense something, or, no, he did. Rayleigh's not wrong about these things. Was it his observation, Haki? Oi Gramps. What are you doing? Those collars are meant to explode, Poppig yells, snapping Rose out her thoughts as the others look in shock that Rayleigh is messing with Cammy's collar. Don't worry guys, Rayleigh knows what he's doing. Rose says, causing the crew to calm down while Law quirks an eyebrow. How strange, the Dark King definitely sensed something about Rose. She gets more interesting by the Law snaps out of his thoughts to see Rayleigh manage to take Cammy's collar off and throw it in the air just before it blew up. I can't believe it, he got it off, Nami says. I'm impressed he got them off with his bare hands, Brooke says. Frankie walks back to the stage with the keys. Just when I got the keys too. Oh well. He tosses the keys to the other slaves. Hey, soon-to-be slaves. The buyers ran away, so run while you can. Thank you. The slaves cry with joy as they unlock their cuffs. I still can't believe he took out all those guards by himself. Does he have a devil fruit or something, Luffy? Zoro asks. I don't know him. Luffy says, never thought I'd meet someone like him here, Law says. Eustace Kid looks at Rayleigh with a smirk. There's no mistake that you're Silver's Rayleigh. What's a legendary man? On this island. I just own a coding shop. Just call me Ray here. I'd rather have the Marines stay off my tail. He walks up to Hachi and checks his wounds. Don't go dying on me now, Hachi. How many times have I told you to stay away from this island? Sorry, Rayleigh. Rayleigh turns to the group. Thanks for helping my friend. We can talk more later, but we have to get out of here first. Attention pirates. Release the Roswald family at once. I suggest you surrender now before the Admiral arrives. You're in over your head, rookies, the Marines shout out. It's too dangerous to snap a tornado at them. Fighting our way out will be best. Rose flies up to the group while Frankie gets Kami out of the fish tank and carries her to the group. Law starts getting up with a smirk. In any case, we're involved now. Kid snickers as he makes his way to the door. I have no complaints since I got to see Straw Hat do something crazy. The longer we wait in here, the more soldiers will arrive, so I'll be leaving first. I'll even take care of the guys out front, so you guys rest here. Law and Luffy start getting angry as they catch up to Kid. Ha ha ha. This fight will be fun. Rose smirks with excitement when Nami turns to her. Rose, we need you to take Chopper, Hachi, Poppig and Kami to safety while we keep the Marines busy. She deflates at the request but nods. Ah, then I can't fight. Oh well. Kami and Hachi come first. Not a problem. Just give me the signal for when I should fly out with them. You want to ride back too, really? He nods. Appreciated. When you guys manage to escape, meet me at Shacky's bar in Grove 13. Zoro nods. Got it. Can I go with Rose? Usopp asks. You're fighting too, Frankie says as he hands Kami to Chopper after he went to Heavy Point. Rayleigh turns to the Giant. Hey Giant, what about you? I'll stay and help the other slaves escape. Straw Hat Pirates. If I ever see you again, I promise to repay this debt. Thank you. Usopp nods. It was nothing. What did you do? Sanji asks. We should get going. Rose, when Long Nose creates an exploding star is when you fly out. Robin says, causing the others to agree as they start making their way out. Rose gets Chopper, Hachi, Kami, Poppig, and Rayleigh floating as they wait by the doorway. Once we get the signal, we fly out immediately. Usopp exploding star. Usopp fires an exploding star, causing the 6 of them to fly out and look below to see them fight. I so want to fight. Rose looks down in disappointment when she sees some of the Marines running after them. Don't let Wind Rider Eska, Shachi and Penguin attack the Marines from behind. Keep going, Rose. Shachi yells with a thumbs up, then they turn to see Rose launched a twister punch at the Marines about to attack them from behind. Thanks guys. Good luck. Rose yells with a thumbs up as she flies away from the auction house. You know those guys, Rose? Chopper asks. Yay, we fought some bounty hunters together. They're good guys. Rayleigh, which way's Grove 13? He points at the right direction until she safely brings them to Shacky's bar. After the crew made it to the bar, they listened intently to Rayleigh's story about Roger and how Shanks was a part of their crew. Shanks worked with the Pirate King? Luffy yells in shock. Rayleigh nods as he finishes his alcohol. I saw him 10 years ago missing both his straw hat and his left arm. When I asked him what happened, he looked happy and spoke about you. I'm sure he's waiting for you in the new world right now. Really, I want to see him too. Rose grins at his excitement as she drinks her soda. I'd love to meet Shanks too. Who knows, maybe after the war one can talk to him. Rayleigh stands up and turns to the crew. Now then, let's get down to business. You guys want me to code your boat, right? Since you guys helped Hachi, I won't charge you. That's generous of you. Thanks, Sanji says. Robin stands up. Rayleigh, there's something I want to ask you. Just what is the will of D? When we were in Skypia, I saw a poneglyph with Roger's name on it. Do you know what happened during the Void Century? Rayleigh nods. We do. But you shouldn't rush into things. Even if I told you. As you are now, you wouldn't be able to do anything about it. You should take your time after you've seen the world. If you wish to know now, however, I can tell you everything. Robin stares at him for a moment before smiling. No, I'll continue my journey. Usopp looks at her in surprise. Are you really okay with this, Robin? You're letting a huge opportunity go here. He stands up. Old man. I have a question about the One Piece. Is it really at the... Usopp. Luffy yells, causing everyone to turn to him in shock. I don't want to hear where the treasure is. I don't even want to know if it exists or not. If the old man tells us anything, I'll quit being a pirate. I don't want to go on a boring adventure like that. Rose softly grins as she relaxes and finishes her soda. Hee hee, that's Luffy for ya. He'll find out that the One Piece exists anyway, so I'd better stay quiet. I'm sorry. I get it. I'll keep quiet, Usopp says, causing Shacky to laugh while Rayleigh chuckles. Do you think you can do it? What the Grand Line has in store is beyond your imagination. Can you control the sea? Rayleigh asks. I don't want to control the sea. The Pirate King is just the freest man on the sea. Is that so? Alright then, Your ship's on Grove 41, right? I'll go check it out. What about you guys? An admiral should be on the island soon. Nami looks down and thought, if we stay here we'll just attract trouble, so how about we go shopping? What's with the easygoing attitude? Usopp yells in shock. She's got a point though, if we stay here they might come after you guys. It might be best if we escape into town, Frankie says. How about we split up? Zoro asks. Rayleigh turns to Shaki. Are there any more Vivre cards left? Shaki nods as she smokes her cigarette. Yup, one sheet. She goes under the bar and grabs the sheet. Rayleigh splits it into 10 pieces and hands them to the crew. I need 3 days to work on the coding. Afterwards you guys can use the Vivre card to find the ship with the coding done. Until then you guys should get ready for Fishman Island. The others nod in agreement. Thanks for everything guys, Kami says with Popig nodding. I'm sorry for the trouble. Thanks again for all of your help, Hachi says. Don't worry about it Hachi. Get plenty of rest, Chopper says. We'll see you guys around, Luffy says as he and the crew leaves. Rose walks slowly and starts falling behind the group while not paying attention to what the others are saying. It's time for the fight. When Kuma arrives I need to somehow get him to send me somewhere close. Luffy looks back to see Rose getting left behind and goes back for her while the others walk ahead. Hey Rose, you okay? You gotta walk faster? She snaps out of her thoughts and grins at him. Yay, I'm okay. Sorry about that Luffy. Come on, we should catch up to the others, she nods, right. They start walking to catch up to the others when Luffy wraps his hand around hers. She looks at his hand in shock while lightly blushing. Luffy? Is everything alright? The good weird feeling came back. I want to ask her about it. He nods. Yay, I just wanted to do this. Hey Rose, can I ask you something? You just did. He stops walking while slightly pouting. Rose. She giggles at his childishness. Sorry, what is it? You said 2 people in a couple have strong feelings for each other, right? What do those feelings feel like? Why does he want to know that? What do I even say here? I guess some examples won't hurt. She looks at him nervously. Well, these feelings happen mostly in your chest. When you're with that person and see them happy you feel great. When you see the person sad you want to do whatever you can to cheer them up until they put their cute goofy smiles back on. Sometimes even just thinking about that P-mile and you why do you want to know so badly anyway? That sounds like what I feel around Rose. Does Rose feel like this too? He stares at the ground quietly, causing her to look at him in shock. Hold on, no way. Luffy's in love. Who's the lucky? She looks down at their intertwining hands and finally puts 2 and 2 together. Oh crap, we're. Ah! The other crew members scream in the distance, causing them to snap out of their thoughts. Oh no, come on. Rose uses her wind to send the 2 of them flying and starts heading to the group while still holding on to Luffy's hand. What should I do now? It might hurt him more to leave him all confused now. You know what? Screw it. Luffy, those feelings, they're nothing to be ashamed of. Especially since the other person feels them too. He looks at her in shock. Really? You do too? She cuts him off as she leans in and captures his lips in a short but sweet kiss, then pulls away with a soft grin. Yay, I do. I'll tell you about it later. Right now, let's go kick some ass. He blinks in surprise before giving her the largest grin she's ever seen on him. Let's go. Rose and Luffy fly in to see the group facing off against Kuma. Who's that? Luffy asks as they land and let go of each other's hands. Luffy, be careful. This guy's a Shichibukai, Sanji says as he dodges a beam. What the hell? Since when could he shoot a beam? Usopp says. Luffy looks at them in shock. A Shichibukai? What's he doing here? How do you guys know him? We faced him after you passed out in Thriller Bark. Rose says as she turns her arm into a twister. This was the guy? Luffy asks. Yay. He attacked us with the shockwaves from the paws on the palms on his hands. He must have came back to finish us off, Chopper says. Like I'd let that happen. Coup de vent. Frankie shoots a coup de vent at his stomach while Rose flews up to him as he kept his ground. Twister punch. She launched a twister punch at him that makes him stagger back when Luffy goes into second gear and sends him flying with a jet pistol. Kuma looks at him in surprise. I know you're strong, so I'm gonna go all out from the start, Luffy says as he, Rose, Sanji and Zoro charge at him. Diamble Hambi. .360 caliber Phoenix, Gum Gum Jet Pistol. Twister Punch. The attacks send him flying into a nearby building. Something's different about him. Zoro says. You noticed too? I think he's a copy of Kuma, Rose says. What do you mean he's a copy? Luffy asks. If this was really Kuma he would have deflected out attacks with his devil fruit ability. This leads to problems though. That means that there are at least 2 people with his strength, Sanji says. Kuma managed to get back up with the rest of the crew charging at him. He attacked Zoro and sent him flying until Rose caught him and placed him on the ground as he staggered up. Crap, Zoro hasn't fully healed yet. Rose continued attacking as Chopper charges after eating a rumble ball. Hoof print Roseo. Chopper attacks causing Kuma to grab him as Frankie punches him. Strong right. Frankie punches him causing him to let go of Chopper while Frankie keeps punching him out until he gets punched in the face and sent flying. Robin catches him with her devil fruit powers while Brook attacks him but his attack wasn't any good against his body. Usopp exploding star. Before Kuma can attack Brook, Usopp fires an exploding star while they retreat. Kuma turns to find Nami running towards him but before he can fire a beam from his mouth Robin sprouted hands on him and forced his mouth shut causing him to fire the beam in his mouth. Let's finish this, Thunder Tempo. Nami strikes him with her Thunder Lance causing him to start going out of control. Guys, take cover, Rose sends the others flying out of the way while Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy finish him off. Diable Hambi, Asura Makusen, third gear, Gum Gum Giant Pistol. Luffy crushes him with his giant arm and finished him as he shrunk while the others slumped from exhaustion. Everyone laid down to regain their energy while Rose and Sanji examined the copy. You find anything? Robin asks. Sanji nods. I found a label, PX4. Rose looks at the pacifista in thought. He's definitely a cyborg but stronger than Frankie. Since he's PX4 it's safe to guess that there's more than one of these copies. What? Everyone looks at her in shock. We should rest for a moment. I didn't expect us to be fighting at full strength. Luffy says as his body returns to normal. Zoro catches his breath while looking at Rose. Rose expected this though. I knew it, why didn't she stop us from coming here? He clenches his teeth in frustration as he tries to get up but stops to see Rose snapping up a small tornado in the middle of the clearing. Whoa, what are you doing, Rose? Those tornadoes are dangerous, Usopp says. Trust me. Rose says as she used her wind to lift the group off the ground away from the tornado. Just what have you guys done? That PACIFISTA costs the same as a battleship. The crew looks up in shock to see Sentomaru and another pacifista jump down only to be swallowed by the growing tornado. Wah. Chopper turns to Rose impressed as she sends the group flying away from them a few feet in the air. That was awesome, Rose. Robin looks at her curiously. What's the thing she doesn't want to prevent? Rose nods as she looks ahead. Thanks, but it won't hold them for long, we gotta. Ooh, I'm impressed you managed to catch my nephew off guard, outsider. Kizaru materializes in front of her causing her to use her wind to throw the group to the opposite side of the clearing as Kizaru blasted her with his devil fruit power and slammed her to the ground. Kizaru's the admiral. Robin looks at him in shock as she and the others get up and rush to help Rose. Ack, Kizaru, you big ape, I'd rather fight him than the lava mutt though. Rose staggers up and turns to the group. Guys, leave him to me. He's a Logia user too. Get yourselves out of here. The others look at her in shock. Are you crazy? You remember the last time you faced an admiral? Nami yells. I'm stronger than last time. Besides, your attacks won't hit him. Get going. Rose flies in front of Kizaru and faces off against him while the others turn to see a half-worn-out Sentomaru and pacifista start catching up to them. Rose. Luffy turns to the group. Guys, split up and run. Focus on getting to safety. I'm gonna back up Rose. The others were reluctant but nod as they start running with Sentomaru and the pacifista chasing them. Twister Barrage. Rose flew above him and attacked him with a giant twister. He shakes his head in disappointment as he takes the blow. I'm disappointed you don't realize our difference in strength. Kizaru turned his body into light and flashed out of the tornado and materialized right behind her and blasted her to the ground before she could react. Light is faster than wind, you know. She's having a hard time getting back up as she pants. I know, but until the others escape I won't stop. As long as I can lower the damage the others take before Kuma comes I'm satisfied. He chuckles at her attempt. Are all outsiders like you, or are we just unlucky? She snickers as she manages to get halfway up while panting. Your masters on top should be happy to know that I'm one of a kind. Good to know. He creates a light sword and gets ready to attack her. Gum Gum Gatling. Luffy attacks him but his fists go straight through him. Kizaru shoots Luffy with a beam with his free hand while swinging his light sword at her but gets blocked by Rayleigh's sword. So you're making an appearance, Dark King Rayleigh, Kizaru says as he gets ready to fight him. You shouldn't be attacking kids before it's their time in this era, Rayleigh says as he grins. Old man. Thanks for the help. Luffy recovers and takes Rose by the hand and starts running with her. Thanks Rayleigh. Rose sends the two of them flying. Where are the others? Everyone's getting away. Rie looked to see Sentomero facing Sanji, Nami, Frankie, and Chopper while the pacifista attacks the others at the opposite side of the clearing. Luffy, you go help Sanji's group. I'll go help Zoro's side. Rose goes to take her hand back but Luffy keeps a hold of it. When you're with the group focus on getting to safety. She grins as she nods. Alright Captain. Good luck. I'll see you at Marineford. She gives his hand a tight squeeze before letting it go and lands him near his group as she grabs her staff and flies to the pacifista, Windblade. She slashes at the robot but it manages to stay standing while Usopp, Zoro, Robin and Brook look at her in shock as they pant from exhaustion. What happened with Kizaru? Robin asks. Rayleigh's fighting him right now. Rayleigh's here? Zoro asks, causing her to nod. Yay, but let's focus on getting out of here. The group nods as they start running but the robot aimed a beam at them. Crap. Rose sends her group flying far enough to barely take the blast. Rose-san, you shouldn't overdo it with your wind, Brook says, causing her to nod. The pacifista keeps going after them while Rose gets ready to fight. I don't know how much more I can take. Wait, PX1. The group turns to see another Kuma walking up behind them. It's time. Rose glares at him. Guys, it's the real one. What? We have to deal with the real one now too, Usopp says as he trembles. The real Kuma walks up to Zoro who's struggling to stay standing. So you're alive, Roronoa. Thanks to your mercy, Zoro says. This isn't the time for chit-chat, Usopp says. Kuma takes off his glove while the others get nervous. If you were to take a trip, where would you go? Before Zoro could answer, Kuma uses his devil fruit powers to make him disappear. Zoro. The others yell while Rose clenches her teeth. Robin looks at Rose in shock. This is what Rose didn't want to prevent? She wants us to disappear? She tries to use her hands against Kuma but he quickly gets out of her grasp. What did you do to Zoro? Usopp yells as the pacifista gets another beam ready. Usopp-san, we need to. Brook cuts himself off as he and the others look to see that Kuma made the pacifista disappear. Now's my chance. Guys, get to safety. Rose sends her group flying a few feet away from them, then creates a wind barrier around her and Kuma. She clenches onto her staff while glaring at Kuma. Even though everyone can see us through the barrier, they can't hear us, so please hear me out. He keeps a stoic face while he nods, then the two face off. First off, I know who you are and what you're really doing here. She hits him on the head but he's unfazed by it as he attacks her with a shockwave, but she dodges. On behalf of the crew, I want to thank you for getting everyone out of danger. I'm still pissed that you almost killed one of my friends, but this makes up for it. Do you still take location requests? He punches her but she makes his fist go through her. I do. He deflects her twister kick then blocks her staff. Then please, send me somewhere close enough to get to Marineford in time for the war. He widens his eyes in shock but his face doesn't show it as they keep fighting. Are you sure? She nods as she keeps her glare while trying to hit him. Even if you have to send me to Impel Down, I won't complain. In fact, I want to go there. If I go to Impel Down, I might be able to stop Luffy's lifespan from getting cut 10 years. This girl, he hits her with a shockwave that sends her flying back but she managed to stop before she could hit the barrier. Very well. I will make sure you're close enough to make it to the war. She suppressed a smile while getting ready to charge. Thank you, Kuma. She charges at him as he gets ready to send her flying. You need to know one thing though. She quirks an eyebrow as she jumps to swing her staff at him. What is it? If you want your origins kept a secret, then stay away from Marineford. She froze in shock for a second, then swings her staff as Kuma used his devil fruit powers to make her disappear, causing her barrier to subside. Everyone in the crew looks at Kuma in utter shock while Luffy looks at him in horror. Rose. 3 days have passed since the fight in Sabaody Archipelago. Today, chaos is erupting on a mining island called Talon Island, where half-red half-black crystals fill the walls of the mines. The world government has the mine heavily guarded and is treated as a fortress for criminals whose crimes aren't severe enough for impelled down. Right now 5 guards have 2 escaped convicts cornered under the open hole of the crater island. One of them is a middle-aged muscular man with tan skin, yellow hair with a gray streak, and black eyes. The other is a girl in her early 20s with long red hair, blue eyes and pale skin. You've got nowhere to run, Alan D. Flint, and Abeli D. Emma. Just give up now and your punishment won't be so bad. The leader of the prison, Spandine, says as he steps up to them with a smirk. Like we'd surrender to a loser like you, old man, Emma says as she flips him off. Flint chuckles at her behavior. As my apprentice said, we're not surrendering. Besides, I'd rather not surrender to someone whose family's reputation was ruined by a recorded conversation. Wahahaha. This dungeon is suited for a failure like you. He smirks while getting ready to fight. Spandine grits his teeth in irritation. I'm a man who commands respect, damn it. If that miserable pirate Katone Rose hadn't sent my son Spandam to prison with that tone dial, I wouldn't have been demoted. Now I have to start all over. If I ever see that outsider, I'll be sure to. Look out below. Both of the convicts and the guards look up in confusion to find Rose falling through the hole and landing on top of Spandine and the guards as the pressure from Kuma's attack knocks them out. Both Emma and Flint look at her in shock as she gets up and looks around the mines in irritation. That damn panda bear. This isn't impelled down. Emma and Flint couldn't take their eyes off the strange girl as she looks around the mines in irritation while supporting herself with her staff. Damn it, I can't believe Kuma. Then again, I guess he didn't actually say impelled down. It would have been hard for him to send just me there without raising more suspicion on him, so I guess I understand. I hope he at least brought me somewhere close to Marineford. Any idea who she is, Flint? Emma asks. He shakes his head but freezes when he sees her necklace, then walks up to her. Rose quirks an eyebrow at him. Can I help you, oi? He grabs her necklace but lets go when she punches him in the nose, then flips him over her shoulder. Don't touch the necklace. Where am I any? She cuts herself off as she looks at the crystals on the walls of the mines and looks at the crystal in her necklace to see that they match. Holy crap, this is the Talon Mines? Emma nods. How do you know about this place? I learned about it from this secret page of an encyclopedia. Ah, so you're a fan of my work, huh? Flint says as he brushes himself off. What do you mean a fan of? Everyone. There are the convicts, they knocked out the warden. Some of the guards starts yelling as they run in. Convicts? Rose gets ready to fight when Flint grabs her arm and they start running from the guards. Hang on, I can. We'll talk later, kid. Flint says as he picks her up over his shoulder and starts running with her. What now? Emma asks as they reach some of the mine carts. Jump in. Flint says as he jumps in one of the carts with Rose, and Emma follows after pulling the lever to get it moving. Wait a minute, this track didn't finish yet, right? Emma says, causing Flint to sweat drop as he puts Rose down. Oops, UIDIWA. The cart goes full speed as it goes on the downhill track. Whoa, this is awesome. Rose sits up in the cart and looks around with excitement. Who the hell are you anyway? And how did you get that crystal? Emma asks. My name's Rose and my parents gave this to me. Now who are you two? I'm Emma and this old guy here is Flint. Hey, I'm not that old. Rose widens her eyes in shock. Hold on, Flint as in Alan D. Flint? Yup. I'm the geologist who wrote that page about the Onnet crystal. Awesome. It's so great to meet you. You can't imagine how helpful it's been with my research. He looks at her in confusion. Your research? She eagerly nods. Yay, I'm researching the Timor Comet. What? Guys, I hate to break up the meet and greet, but we have a problem. Emma points ahead, causing them to look to see that the track is cut off on a cliff of the mine with over 100 guards waiting at the bottom. Men, make sure they're all captured. Especially the intruder, Spandine says as he cradles his aching head from being knocked out. Oh boy. We'll just have to fight our way out," Flint says while Emma glares at him. "We can't fight them, you idiot," Emma says. Rose starts smirking. "Don't worry, I got this." She scoots to the front as the cart starts flying off the tracks and falling to where the guards are. She uses her wind to get the cart flying, causing the guards to look at her in shock along with Emma and Flint. "What the hell?" Emma says. "It can't be. Wind Rider, men capture those three at all costs and make sure they're on their knees," Spandine yells as the guards scramble to go after them. Rose laughs at the reaction as she gets the cart flying into a different tunnel, then lands them safely when she sees that the coast is clear. "Sorry for the scare. I ate the wind fruit, so my body is basically wind." She starts to stand to get off the cart, but her legs give in, causing Flint to catch her. "Did it take that much out of you?" She shakes her head. "No, my crew and I got into a fight with an admiral and were sent flying by a Shichibukai a few days ago. I guess I'm still exhausted. Kizaru's injuries aren't helping." Emma blinks in shock. "That's an understatement. We'd better find a place to hide so you can rest." She carries Rose on her back and they make it into an empty room to hide in. "This place should be okay." She gently sets Rose down on a chair when Flint finds a first aid kit. "We should treat her injuries." "I'll be doing that." Emma takes the first aid kit from him, then throws him in a closet and locks the door. "Hey, come on, Emma. Shut up, old perv. I don't want a repeat of the bath incident." "I'm not old, and I keep telling you I'm not a pervert. That was an accident." Rose starts laughing as Emma walks over to her. "So what's your story, Emma? Are you a geologist like Flint?" Emma nods as she starts treating Rose's injuries. "Yay, I'm working under Flint as his apprentice. We've been here for about a year investigating the crystal." Rose unconsciously grabs her necklace. Emma sighs in exasperation. "Relax, we're not gonna take it. Sorry about the idiot. It's the first time that either of us found an Onett crystal that came from somewhere other than here." She relaxes as she lets go of the necklace. "Really?" She nods as she keeps patching her up and stares at it closely. "Yay, it's interesting though. It's really fine cut and it looks like it's absorbed astral energy before." She looks at her in shock. "You can tell?" "Yay, I can tell from the appearance. It's weird though, it looks like the energy was used. Did you do something with it?" She looks at her nervously. "You wouldn't believe me if I told you." "Try me. It absorbed the Timor Comet's energy back in my world and brought me to this one." Emma blinks for a moment before frowning. "You're right, I don't believe you." "You mean you don't notice, Emma? I'm disappointed. I thought I trained your observation hockey to its full potential," Flint says from the closet. Rose looks at the door, then her in confusion. "Notice what? You guys have observation hockey?" Emma ignores her questions and uses her observation hockey for a moment before lightly gasping in shock. "What the hell?" "You see? What the hell are you guys talking about?" Rose says in irritation. "Your aura is red," Emma says, causing her to quirk an eyebrow. "Do you know what observation hockey is?" Rose nods. "It's one of the 3 categories of hockey. Observation hockey can give someone the ability to find someone hidden from plain sight, or miles away. It can help you to read a person's movements to see what their next attack is in a fight, as well as look at their aura." Emma nods. "When you look at someone's aura, you normally see their aura as a blue color, but yours is red." "That's the first time I've seen that before." "That's because she's telling the truth. I can't sense that she's lying," Flint says. "That must have been what Rayleigh noticed when we first met. Wait, then that means when the crew meets again after the 2 years, some of the others will be able to notice that I'm different." Rose sighs in frustration as Emma finishes treating her. "Sorry for not believing you about being from another world. Don't be, that sort of thing is hard to swallow. Like being able to make a minecart fly. Wahaha. Did you see that loser Spandine's face? It was priceless." Flint laughs along with Emma, causing Rose to look at them in shock. "Oh yay, I thought I saw him below us when I sent the cart flying. I can't believe the jerk's here." Emma looks at her in shock. "You know him? That asshole destroyed my friend's home island. I sent his son to prison by recording a conversation that had him confessing his plans to overthrow the world government." "That was you?" Flint says in shock. "You guys heard about that?" Rose looks at them in shock as she gets up and grabs her bag to get her jeans, V-neck, jacket and gloves and starts changing out of the clothes Nami gave her. "Everyone in this prison has heard about that. All the convicts make fun of him for it. Emma says, causing Rose to look at her in shock. So this place is a prison? I thought it was a base. Emma shakes her head. No, you see, this place isn't. Supposed world government found this place years ago and tried to destroy it. But the crystals kept manifesting no matter how many times they tried to destroy the island. After a while they gave up and decided to turn this place into a prison for convicts who aren't pirates or ex-marines to spend the rest of their lives. Those that come here never come out unless dead, just like if you're impelled down. They force the prisoners to mine the crystals, then the marines ship them to Vegapunk in order for him to experiment on ways to destroy them or use them against pirates. The convicts are mainly people who angered the celestial dragons enough for them to get punished, but aren't wanted as slaves. Rose grits her teeth in anger as she keeps changing. I see. What about you two? We kind of came here on our own, Flint says. Huh? Emma nods. Yay, we snuck in here to do a more thorough investigation on the crystal and do some experiments on them, but the old warden caught us and said. She gives a smug expression while mimicking an old man's voice. Since you two love crystals so much, how about mining them for eternity? She laughs at the imitation. The old warden got promoted and Spandine replaced him after your stunt. Unknown to him though, we've been experimenting on these crystals in secret and studying not only on the origins but the difference in appearance of those that did and didn't absorb astral energies. The page you have was from my old volume. We've decided it was time to go and leave with the crystals that we have in order to update my findings, but we got chased by Spandine and the guards. That's when you showed up. I gotta say, you're one funny kid, Flint says as Rose finishes changing. She goes to take Nami's hair tie off but stops herself and lets it stay in her hair. We can let Flint out of the closet now. Emma nods as she opens the door, causing Flint to walk out triumphantly. About time you let me out. I was about to use my armament hockey to open it. You can do that too? Rose asks, causing him to nod. Do the people in your world use hockey? She shakes her head. No, I wish. I only know of it because I looked into it. Do you guys know if it might be possible for me to train in hockey? Observation and armament, of course. I doubt I can use Conqueror's hockey. Emma tilts her head in thought. Well, technically speaking, hockey is in all living things. I guess with the right kind of training it's possible. What do you think, Flint? He nods. I don't see why not. We can train you as soon as we get out of here. Rose shakes her head, causing them to look at her in confusion. Sorry, I'd love to stay with you guys after we leave, but I have a war to fight in. Emma widens her eyes in shock. Wait a minute, you're not talking about the upcoming war in Marineford, are you? Rose nods. Yay, do you guys know how long it'll take to get there? It should take about 5 days or so, but you need an eternal pose, Flint says. I hope that's enough time to make it. I see, in that case I have to get to Spandine's office to get the pose. She starts walking out but Emma blocks her. Hold on, you're not at full strength. You can't go to a war. You're not even part of the Whitebeard pirates, right? She shakes her head. No, I'm one of the Straw Hat pirates. Flint whistles. You just keep getting interesting. Didn't you guys destroy Eni's lobby? She nods. Technically the world government destroyed it with their buster call, but they pinned the blame on us because we were their targets. Does the world government know what you are? Emma asks. She nods. Yay. They figured me out. If you want your origins kept a secret, then stay away from Marineford. Rose's eyes widen at remembering Kuma's last words to her. Those world government assholes were expecting this. Damn it. They kept quiet about my origins this whole time in order to use it against me at the war. She clenches her fists in frustration, causing Flint and Emma to look at her in concern. Hey, are you alright? Emma asks. She nods as she unclenches her fists. I'll be fine. I have to get out of here as soon as possible to make it to Marineford before the war starts. If they're telling my secret, then they're not telling Ace's. Emma places her hands on Rose's shoulders and looks her in the eye. Why are you getting yourself involved? Since you're not a Whitebeard, it shouldn't be worth risking the world government revealing your origins. You know what will happen if they do, right? Sadly I do. I know the world will see me as a demon and my crewmates are gonna be pissed off at me. Flint looks at her in shock. You never told them? She shakes her head. I was afraid of how they'd react to me since my knowledge of this world comes from their adventures. To be honest, I'm still nervous about what they'll think of me, even though one of them already knows. But I can't just back away now. The man that's supposed to die in Marineford. Portgas D. Ace is my captain's brother. Not only that, I know the type of person Ace is. He's a good man that doesn't deserve to die. Look, I know it's dangerous. But if I can't use what I know about this world to help the people close to me, then there's no point in having this information at all. Both of them stare at her in shock as she calms herself down and gets Emma's hands off of her shoulders. I'm sorry about my ranting. I'm willing to help you guys escape, but I refuse to leave without making sure I can get to the war. Flint snaps out of his daze, then smirks. You got some guts, kid. I like it. Consider me your ally in getting the pose in a boat. Rose brightens up at that while Emma looks at him in disbelief. You can't be serious, Flint. We should be talking her out of this. He shakes his head. I've seen that look in her eyes too many times. There's no changing her mind even if we chop her legs off. Besides, with her help we can get the other convicts out too. You have a point, but great, I found the blueprints of the place in the closet, so let's start planning. Flint goes to grab the blueprints while Emma sighs in defeat. Why do I follow him again? Sigh, you better know what you're doing, Rose. She nods. It should be fine. If not, then we'll wing it. She checks the blueprints with Flint while Emma twitches an eyebrow. These two are gonna kill me. She sighs again as she joins the group and listens in on the plan. What do you mean you men haven't found them yet? Spandine yells as the guards report their search. We're sorry, sir, but this place is a labyrinth. They could be anywhere, one of the guards says. I don't care for excuses. Have you sent men up to the surface of the crater in case they try flying? The guards nod. Good, then keep searching. The guards salute him, then run off to search for the trio while Spandam smirks. Finally, if I can get Windrider Rose, then I'll be back on top in no time. Rose smirks as she materializes right behind him. You really think so? He nods. Absolutely. After all the trouble you caused me, you'll finally. He cuts himself off and turns only for his nose to meet Rose's fist, and then she grabs his arm and uses her wind to help throw him and slam him to the wall. That was for O'Hara, you asshat. She creates an air scooter and gives him a mock salute as she rides away. Spandine gets up while cradling his bleeding nose, then runs after her and takes out his baby Den Mushi. Calling all guards. I found Windrider. She's heading to the cell block. We'll corner her. The guards start running in after her in the cell block where the other prisoners are watching the scene with amusement and cheering for her. Go girl. Give that loser a run for his money. Wait. Turn around. You'll get cornered. She stops in front of an open cell and was cornered by Spandine and 20 guards. Spandine smirks as he walks up to her. You really think you can just invade this place and get away with it? Let me guess. You came here to learn about your crystal, correct? She smirks as she shakes her head. Wouldn't have coming here did help me to understand something new about the crystal. I'm here for a much bigger prize. He quirks an eyebrow. What would that be? She waved her hand, motioning him to come at her. Push me into the cell and I'll tell you. He looks at her in confusion, then smirks. Easy. He runs to push her into the cell, but before he could touch her, she turned her body into wind, causing him to go through her. She materialized behind him and gave him a twister kick that slams him into the cell. Spandine. The guards charge at her, but she flew behind them and used her wind to send them flying into the cell and slam Spandine into the wall. She quickly closed the door and locked it with a smirk. What was that about? Easy. Huh? You idiot. I have the key to the cells, right, huh? He searches his pockets to find his keys gone. Rose holds the key and his baby Den Mushi in her hands. Looking for these? Hee hee, good thing I got Nami to teach me some of her tricks. She'd be proud. She turns to the rest of the block. Attention everyone, I'm gonna get you out, but we need to work together in order to escape. My friends are securing 2 boats at the docks, so get there and help out, understand? The convicts cheer as she opens the doors. I'd better get the pose. She flies out and sends the guards in her way flying while the convicts run out of the cell block and reach for the docks. According to those blueprints, Spandine's office should be here. Rose opens the door to Spandine's office. She walks into the room and finds a desk, window, a shelf full of eternal poses and a birdcage with a brown falcon with golden patches on her stomach that matches her eyes inside, tied up with a muzzle around its beak and struggling with its talons trapped in tiny bags and cuffs around its legs. What the hell? That's just cruel. She walks up to the cage, but the bird tries to headbutt her as she tries to put her hand in. Hey, take it easy. I'm not gonna hurt you, I want to untie you. What am I saying? This is a bird, there's no way that. She snaps out her thoughts when she sees that the falcon is nodding at her in understanding and is lifting its leg up for her to untie the bag. Wow, you're one smart bird. Hold still. She takes the muzzle, ropes, and the bags off, then breaks open the cage. Sorry, I don't have the key for the cuffs, I'll see if I can find it after. Crap. How do you tell which of these poses goes to Marineford? She looks at the shelf in confusion while trying to figure out which eternal pose is the right one. The one for Marineford is the one on the top right. Oh really? Thanks. She freezes and looks around the room to see who said that, but it's just her and the bird with the cuffs off. Huh? Who said that? That would be me. Thanks for getting those bags off. They made it much easier to pick the locks on my sea stone cuffs. My name's Zira. Rose looks down to see that the falcon is talking to her while flying to the top of the shelf. She blinks in surprise, then softly chuckles as she grabs the eternal pose. Nice to meet you. I'm Rose. Let me guess. You ate a devil fruit? Zira looks at her in shock, then nods. She's not scared. Why yeah, I ate the sound fruit. It allows me to copy any sound and voice that I hear. She closes her eyes for a moment, then starts talking with Rose's voice. Let me guess. You ate a devil fruit? She chuckles at the impersonation. Not bad, you don't look like your average parrot though. I'm not a parrot. I'm a falcon. Dr. Vegapunk experimented on me and gave me human intelligence after he found out about my devil fruit. He wanted me to be a spy against the pirates, but I wouldn't have it and I escaped. I got caught by Spandine soon after. He planned on giving me back to Vegapunk for a promotion. She shakes her head as she grabs some of the other eternal poses and places them in a separate part of the bag. Man, does asshole run in his family or something? Oh well, I locked Spandine in a cell so you're safe. You'd better escape while you can. Rose turns to leave, but Zira flies right in front of her. Hold on, what the hell? She quirks an eyebrow at her. Is it about the parrot comment? I didn't mean to offend. No, not about that. I mean, why aren't you freaking out? Why would I do that? I'm a freaking talking bird. She looks at her in fake surprise. You are? I never noticed. Shut up. She laughs at her anger. Sorry. Let me ask you a question then. Do you know of a human that can fly? She shakes her head. That's impossible. Humans can't. She looks down in shock to see Rose use her wind to lift her feet off the ground. What the hell? Rose laughs at her shock. I ate the wind fruit. Sorry for the scare. As you can see, I've seen a lot of things. You're definitely the first talking bird I've met though. It's pretty cool. If I wasn't so used to the craziness in this world, I might have been more shocked. Zira tilts her head in confusion. This world? She nods. I'd love to explain, but I have to get going. I recommend escaping through the crater. She starts flying out of the room and to the dock with Zira following. What's the matter? Can I come with you? I can help you out? She quirks an eyebrow, then nods with a grin. Sure, as long as you're okay with pirates. You're a pirate? That's awesome. The reason I didn't want to spy on pirates for the Marines was because I wanted to be one. Great. Then let's go. They make it to the dock and freeze when they see the convicts along with Emma and Flint facing the remaining guards. Rose looks to see that the gates to the docks are closed. Crap, how are we going to open them? I saw a baby Den Mushi in your bag. Was that Spandine's? Zira asks, causing her to nod. Turn it on to announcer mode. I know what to do. You go help the others. Rose nods as she turns on the Den Mushi and leaves it on the ground for her to use, then runs to help the others. Emma and Flint are panting from exhaustion as they're facing against the three top guards in the prison on the deck of one of the boats in their devil fruit forms. Byron. A man that ate the mud fruit model coyote. Ari. A woman who ate the bird fruit model hawk. And Khan. A man who ate the cat fruit model tiger. How much longer can you keep this up, criminals? Byron says as he gets ready to pounce again. Emma smirks as she gets in a stance. I can see that you're getting exhausted too, pup. Byron growls in irritation as he and Khan charge forward and pounce on Emma and Flint. Is that all you got? You must be getting old. Flint punches Byron in the face, but he gets right back up, causing Emma to laugh as she kicks Khan and charges at him. You're the one getting old, Flint. No, I'm not. Look out. Emma turns while holding off Khan from biting her to see Ari about to swipe at her. Twister punch. Rose sends Ari flying with a twister punch and slams her on the deck. Hey guys, sorry I'm late for the fight. Better late than never, Rose. Flint says as he gets back to fighting Byron. So you're the intruder causing the chaos. Ari says as she recovers and glares at Rose. I prefer Wind Rider, but I guess intruder's okay. Ready to dance, Tweety? She twitches an eyebrow. I don't know what a Tweety is, but I'll make you pay for calling me that. Both girls fly in the air and go toe-to-toe with one another. I'd rather not find out if she has armament hockey. Rose dodges her talons while fighting back with her twister punches. Ari dodges with ease. What, are you a one-trick pony? You wish. Rose grabs her staff. Windblade. She slashes through the air while she dodges. Wind cannon. She hits her with a wind cannon from her free hand. Ari starts falling but recovers before she hits the deck. Not bad. She charges at her while Rose dodges. Aris looks down to see Emma fuse armament hockey in her arm and send Khan flying off the boat. Ari charges at her. Rose flies after her and snaps a tornado on the deck while Flint kicked Byron off the deck. Emma, Flynn. They look at her in confusion but look at Ari and run off with her chasing after them but got caught in the tornado that grew right under her. Twister barrage. Rose turned both of her arms into Twister and pushed them onto the Twister to keep the tornado from going out of control. Rose cancelled out the Twister to find a knocked out Ari in her human form. Rose gently places her off the boat and on the dock with the rest of the defeated guards when the mines echo with Spandine's voice thanks to the Den Den Mushi. Attention control room. This is Spandine. I need you to open the gates to the docks. Backup will be arriving to take care of the criminals. Do not question me. Emma and Flint look at the gate in shock as it starts to open. Oh crap. This isn't good, guys. We're taking 2 boats. Get on either this one or the other one. Emma says as she boards one of the smaller boats with some of the convicts while Flint and the others take one of the larger ships. Everyone, get the boats started. I'll see what we're up against. Rose says as she flies up ahead to see that there's no one there. Huh? I told you I can help you. Zira says as she flies next to her then imitates Rose's voice. Everyone, the coast is clear, go now. The boats hurry off to the gate. Good job, Zira. Rose flies behind both boats and uses her wind to push them when they hear Spandine's voice on the announcer again. What the hell are you doing, control room? Can't you tell a fake voice from a real one? Close the gates right now. The gates start to close while the ship is halfway out but Rose used her wind with full force to push the sails when Ari goes back into hawk form and flies after her. Let's see how you do without your arms. She flies at her only to be hit with a twister kick and slammed back onto the deck. Who said I only fight with my arms? She smirks as she manages to get both of the boats and herself out of the mines just before the gates closed. After Rose made sure that the boat was safe from pursuit, she stops using her wind to push the sails of both boats. She lightly pants from exhaustion then lands on the large boat where the passengers from both boats surround her. That was amazing. Who are you? Where did you come from? Thank you so much for freeing us. Emma and Flint cut through the crowd and make it to her then push the crowd away from her. Alright everyone, give the girl some air to breathe, Flint says. Was that supposed to be a pun? Rose asks, causing him to blink in surprise before laughing and pats her on the back. Wahaha, now it is, you're one tough kid, good job. She smiles as she nods. Thanks, I'm grateful for the help. Here, she goes into her bag to grab one of the eternal poses she grabbed. Consider this repayment for making that page on the Onett crystal. I'm not sure where it'll go but it should get you guys to safety. His smile starts to fade as he takes it. Thanks, are you really sure about going? She softly smiles as she nods. Yup. I won't ask you guys to come with me. It's my fight and you guys should get that new page on the crystal ready. He hands her back the pose. Sorry to say that I can't do that. She tilts her head in confusion, causing Emma to laugh. We would like to examine your crystal more since it's the first one we've seen that's actually used the energy that it absorbed. She quirks an eyebrow at this. What are you saying exactly? Emma chuckles as she brings her to the side of the boat facing the small ship. We're saying that we're going with you until you get there. The next few days will be pretty boring if you're by yourself. Rose looks at them in shock then nods with a grin. Thanks, I appreciate it. Hold on. What do you mean, by yourself? I'm gonna be with her, Zira says as she lands on the boat, causing everyone but Rose to look at her in shock. What the hell? A talking bird? They yell, causing Zira to laugh. You see, Rose? This is how people should react to me. Rose laughs at that. Sorry Zira, like I said, I'm too used to this world. Relax guys, this is my friend Zira. I busted her out of Spandine's office and she made that fake order to open the gates. Flint blinks in surprise before laughing. Wahaha. So that's what happened. Thanks for the help. I look forward to traveling with you. He jumps off the ship onto the boat with Emma following. Rose turns to one of the escapees and hands him the extra pose. Take this. A lot of marine ships are out lately, so be careful. Good luck on your travels. She jumps off the ship and lands on the leaving boat, then waves them off as they wave back and follow their pose. Zira flies onto Rose's shoulder in excitement. So this is the life of a pirate, huh? I like it. So where's our first pirate adventure? Rose blinks at her in confusion. You don't know? Nope. I also forgot to ask. What are you planning to do with that Marineford pose? You're selling it, right? She laughs while Rose looks at her blankly, causing her laughter to die. Wait, you don't mean you're… Yup. We're off to Marineford. Zira looks at her in horror. What?